wonder what does that mean for you and your team. Guess what? If it was 255 million last year, and it can go maybe up to 281 million dollars this year, what that means is if you're going to start scrimping on a running back, you are a complete and total moron.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 1580 The Fanatic.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-289-6215. That's 800-289-6215. 800-289-6215.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
Hey, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3.
Now he turns his mics on early, doesn't he?
What?
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Thursday here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Harris Hicks in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Where's the music going? It's very strange. It got very quiet. Why is it so quiet? All of a sudden the music. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We leave the music. We like the music. Remember? We like the music. I think Harris just forgot everything we trained him on Monday. I feel like he forgot.
Yeah, he's been busy.
He's the
Been
new
busy.
guy.
Yeah.
That's the new guy right there. Everybody, you keep asking why he's gone. So now you know he's back. So you can talk to him again if you like to. No, King of Kittens. We're not going to have a new texture nickname, Moist Dolphin. That is not happening. I don't think there's
Moist-
going to be a moist anything other than moist
Dolphin?
one. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think so. Navy Brad says 10 months ago today, my service dog Stella came into my life, and they are doing great right there. There's a picture.
Oh, well,
There you go. How about
congratulations.
that? Good for
Yeah.
him.
Good puppy. So, all right. So, lots going on in the world of the NFL right now with the people who are being released, re-signed, traded, this, that, the other. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Randy, I'm going to need a weather forecast from you. Not this moment. Not this moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But soon, because can I just tell the air is very dry, but there's clouds outside. So I'm very confused. Is the air dry or is the air humid? Because
well, the air is dry. Humidity is down to 22%. So
well,
and it's,
because it was
very
so
windy.
dry, I had to use lotion. If you know
Oh,
what I mean.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
On my knuckles.
Oh, I bet.
What did you think
Yeah.
I meant? Harris gave me a weird look when I said that. I don't know, whatever you thought I meant, you keep it to yourself, you sicko. But no, my knuckles started to like crack and start to hurt and stuff. So, when you're beating your kids, you got to make sure that you have a good supple knuckles.
You don't want your knuckles to split open when you're working the kids over. No,
That's right. Yeah. I'm just kidding,
Be a
Harris.
sign of weakness.
I don't beat my kids, Harris. That would be a horrible thing.
I've
That'd be
been
a horrible
Yeah.
thing.
Very horrible. Bad.
Yeah, or I do at least nothing that leaves a mark. That's the really important thing to remember. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. My entire adult life, I've never really had to use any kind of lotion, for anything.
Me neither.
My skin has always been okie dokie. It's just like the last couple of years, just for like a week, suddenly I get dry skin in my knuckles and it hurts.
Well, it's that time of the year here in the valley where the air dries out significantly. And we get a lot of wind, and then all of a sudden the blowing dust and all the particulates. It's very hard on the people that have the breathing problems, the asthma and the all the other breathing problems. So if you have this type of sensitivity, stay inside and stay right next to your air purifier.
My knuckles smell like coconut now.
Have any of you guys had bad allergies too? My
Oh, yeah.
allergies
Oh, yeah.
recently, they've been nuts.
Hey, Harris, it's story time. You want to hear why you have bad allergies in Arizona, the place where you thought you shouldn't have bad allergies?
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's what happened. This is all the way back early in the last century. There was a fellow by the name of Jim Neighbors who played Gomer Pyle on TV. And he was driving through and he had the worst allergies. He had like so bad he had to be hospitalized sometimes. And so as he went through Phoenix, he was like, golly, because that's what he always said. And he's like, he could breathe. He's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. He's like, so he moved here and he lived here and he encouraged everyone else he knew with allergies. Hey, go to Phoenix. If you want to get out of your allergies, go to Phoenix. It's a dry desert area. I have no allergies there. So they're like, hey, great idea. So then everybody started moving to Phoenix who had bad allergies. But then the morons from the Midwest, they decided, they're like, wow, we love going to Phoenix because of our allergies. But you know what we miss? We miss our grass and our trees and all the stuff from back home. So what did they do? They shipped them on over, planted them, and now we've got tons and tons of trees that have no business being here, giving us all allergies.
Wow.
I'll tell you
Well
what.
done. Very well done. Thank you.
Yeah, very
Well
interesting.
done, Jeffrey.
I've met more people. Like I've met more Bears fans here than I have Cardinals fans.
Oh, there's
in my
a-
college experience. It's been nuts.
Bears fans, Cubs
Eagles fans. I've
fans,
seen so many Eagles fans.
Yeah. This is a melting pot, if ever there was one in the United States of these Americas. Everybody here is from somewhere else. Very few people. Randy is a native of Arizona. I got here when I was a teenager, like you, Harris. And, I don't know, how old were you when you actually got here, Harris? What was your actual age?
19.
You were a
so-
teenager too when you got here.
Yeah, freshman year of college. Yeah.
So, but not many people are actual natives. My wife from Arizona, but you won't meet a whole lot of natives.
Miss Kim, my wife, she's
Really?
she's from Phoenix.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Born and raised here. As a
How
matter
about
of fact,
that? Two
she
locals.
has a very deep historic connection to this Valley of the Sun. You know that castle that's out by the airport? That round castle?
Yeah, what do they call that place?
Well, they'd say it is the I can't think of it right now.
Not the
but-
Wrigley Mansion.
No, not Wrigley.
Yeah, that's a
this is the
different
one
one.
out by the airport. It's,
I know what you're talking about. I've driven by and seen him, but like, who lives there?
Well, Kim's great grandfather, grandfather actually owned that.
No kidding.
Owned that for quite some time, and sold it to the final owner there. But the cactus gardens out there, there's cactus gardens out there, that was planted by her grandfather and her father, and because Kim is family, we just toured it for free. We get to do that anytime we want
So
to.
free pass for life.
Free pass for life. Yeah, we got to go in there and see all the secrets of the castle.
See,
Yeah.
you're not going to meet a lot of people like Randy and Kim.
That's a
Mhm.
true Valley love story
There
right
it
there.
is.
Like
Right
that
there,
is
my
the
friend. Yeah.
definition of it, man.
Yeah, Triple H.
How
I'm
about you,
glad you're
Randy?
back. I'm
Oh,
glad
thank
you're
you.
back.
Thank
Wow.
you.
He was sick and tired of Phil by now.
Oh my God.
He'd had enough of Phil.
What about Phil? What about Phil? Makes you sick and tired.
I
I
li-
like Phil.
I like Phil fine, but everybody was mad at him yesterday.
Oh yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
What exactly?
Well, one of the things is because he said that LeBron James was the best athlete of all time. Isn't that what he said? Of all time.
Ooh,
Either the
I-
Not
best
about just
athlete
basketball, but the
or
best athlete of all time. He actually doubled down and said that.
I
What do you-
disagree
Was
with
it best
that.
athlete or greatest athlete of all
Oh,
time?
isn't that the same thing? Greatest,
know.
best.
How can you
whatever.
be the greatest athlete of all time when most don't even consider you the greatest athlete in your own sport?
Hmm.
Well, a lot of people can
Just
be
saying.
wrong. One person can be right,
See,
but there's no evidence to really back Phil up on
You want to
this.
hear my take on greatest athlete of all time?
Not
Sure.
really.
Well, you're gonna hear it.
Okay.
Michael Phelps.
See,
Michael
that was
Phelps.
that was one of the
Wow,
first
yeah.
names that came up as an example
Yes.
that LeBron probably wasn't. But then we had a bunch of other names that came up, from the past and from the present. Phil gets an idea in his head. There's no shifting it, and it did come up that maybe he's just been influenced by Ralph from the Weekend Warriors too much.
could be.
I think
Yeah.
when you consider
Might need an
greatest-
intervention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
possibly. When you consider greatest athlete ever, I think to me, it's how do you stick out from your competition? And the fact that with LeBron James and Michael Jordan, there's a debate. If you look at all-time gold medals in swimming, Phelps has 23.
Yeah, there's
I think
nobody else.
second place is like 8. Like he has lapped the field. near
It's hard to
quadruple.
say you are the
Dominated his
greatest
sport.
athlete of all time, or even your own generation, because it's different sports. All you can
It
do
is.
is say, and there is no greatest basketball player of all time because there's generational and there's also, well, the rules have changed. This has changed. That
Yeah.
has changed. If everything stayed the same forever and they never changed a rule, then maybe you could say
Hand
this
checking, big
person or
factor.
that person.
Yeah.
But
Sort of
it-
like
there's-
radio, where Jeopardy is one of the greatest of all time.
I've never been accused of that, and I never will be.
Yeah, you just were, my friend.
Accused.
Well,
Accused is
by
funny.
you. So my point is, as far as sports go, you can say, okay, this is your greatest guy of
Mhm.
this generation right now. That's
Yeah.
as far as you can really go. You can't
Right.
just blanket paint one guy who's the greatest athlete of all time
Right.
because
It's really hard.
unless he really can do every single sport at like an Olympic level.
Yeah. And when you look at it too, to me, because you can't say like, oh, Shohei Otani's better at baseball than Connor McDavid is at hockey. Because what criteria do you have to say that? What
That's
you
just
really,
opinion. That's all
right.
you got.
What you really have to do is see, okay, who is sticking out more from their competition? Right.
Moist one, when he says sticking out more, he means who's really
Moist one, yep.
exemplifying their athleticness and position. I
Give
just need to
Moist
get
one,
ahead of that.
give Moist one an inch, and he'll take a mile.
Well,
I
don't
always
even say
learn
giving
that.
him an
Oh
inch
my
because he
God.
wishes you would.
Yeah.
Let's,
Oh man,
let's
I'm digging myself. a hole
yeah,
here.
let's be more careful here.
Yep. I hear you. I hear you.
What was the other thing he was aggravating everybody about?
Phil or Moist one?
Yeah, Phil.
Phil.
Oh, I,
Uh,
You weren't here, Harris. How would you know?
I can't remember
I didn't
now.
know. I was
yeah.
asking.
There was something else, but whatever it is, I don't mind Phil. I like Phil, but
I like Phil as
Phil-
well. Yeah.
Phil's really smart, man.
he has aggravated the masses.
I really like Phil.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool dude. Shout out Phil. You're listening to this. Shout out Phil.
I like how
Ah.
Harris is just covering his bases. If you're listening to this,
knows if
King-
he is? Maybe he has some. Maybe he has some time. Maybe he wanted to just listen. Who knows?
King of Kitten says it's windy as hell. We're getting blowed away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Very windy today.
Allergies are terrible, says the Berg.
Yes, they are.
Remember,
still-
March comes in like a lion and it goes out like a lamb.
Not really here. Not. I mean, the whole thing's a lamb. There's nothing
March,
really. Oh wow,
6th.
this is a lion.
I'm just
Shush.
saying.
Shush.
Good expression, though, Randy.
This is
Sort of
nothing
thank you.
compared to
Thank
what
you.
could
Good
go
place.
on in
Yes,
the
of
weather
course,
of the
of
rest of
course.
the country.
Well, I mean, look, we're not in the rest of the country, but when you have wind speeds here, like they've been today, it could be 29-mile-an-hour gusts.
Oh my
Jack.
God, 29.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I heard it is. Is it true it's going to rain
I
tomorrow?
walked home in 70-mile-an-hour wind once when I was up in the Pacific Northwest. Don't talk to me about wind.
Triple H will have to talk about that when I do my weather cast.
Yes,
He'll do-
yes, of course. I
He'll
don't
do
want
an
to spoil.
official thing.
I don't
Don't-
want to spoil.
Yeah, I don't want
you're
to
right.
bring all the details, all the
No,
deets,
that's
as the
right.
youths
Yeah,
like to say.
yeah. That's
Silver Pop says,
That's fine.
Jeffrey, are
get
you
it.
saying that these non-native illegal trees and grass are causing allergies? Is there
Yes.
any agricultural ice that can deport them back to the states they came from?
Wow.
Agricultural ice.
This guy
So they're
managed.
kicking in your door and they're grabbing your shrubbery. I love
Yeah,
that
yeah.
idea.
Oh yeah.
I like that a lot more than the actual ice. I think that'd be fun.
I didn't think you can make trees political, but
Yeah,
he
well,
figured out a way.
I'm all for digging them up and sending them home. Although I got 2 pine trees in my front yard. I don't know what that does to me.
You like pine trees?
Well, I come from Oregon, so yeah, I love pine trees. Although here it seems mean. You know what it is? Having a pine tree here in the Valley of the Sun is like having a husky. You're like, we know it's beautiful, but dude, it's too hot for that thing. It
Oh,
ain't
yeah.
fair to that thing.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
fair to that dog.
Yeah,
Why
that's
would you
pretty-
do that?
That's a good analogy.
And my-
Huskies are one of my favorite dogs too. When they bark, it's hilarious.
I got a
Huskies.
couple of the driest pine trees I've ever seen in my front yard. I'm just like,
Mhm.
how are they even still standing? I just feel bad for them.
Because they're mighty pine trees and they're strong and they have the strong foundation.
I water the hell out of them. They still just look dry.
Well, they're sucking that water right up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm doing the best I can. I
know
didn't
you-
plant them; they were here
Right.
before I got here. So
Yeah.
tonight, GCU is at home hosting the Utah Tech Trailblazers. This is the second to the last game, and Grand Canyon. They got to win both games and hope that their eventual opponent in the WAC drops one. But I took a look. I just do not see anybody losing a game against Abilene Christian, or who's the other one Utah Valley is playing here? Hold on. Or the Tar Heels. I'm sorry, the Tarleton State.
Tarleton State.
Fran Tarkenton
Tarleton.
State. I've
Yeah,
decided to call it
Tarkenton.
that.
Yeah.
And the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, has said it's okay for me to say that. So Fran Tarkenton
Pat.
State.
It's good.
I don't think I don't think either of those teams are going to beat the Utah Valley Wolverines. Now, I don't think GCU or the Wolverines are going to lose a game. So as it stands, we'll go into the WAC tournament next week with GCU in the number 2 position and Utah Valley in the number 1 position. So the only way these two teams meet, it's going to be in the championship at this point. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I mean, anything can happen in college basketball, right? That's one of the
Anything
fun
can
things
happen.
about it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
March, man, and got to keep in mind Utah Valley's loss in conference play was when they played GCU on the road and they lost by 18.
Mm-hmm.
So got to factor that in there. That definitely plays a part.
Yeah, I would say as long as they both show up at the same party,
Yeah.
GCU walks away with the WAC tournament.
They will most
Yes.
likely be favored if they meet. Anything can happen. Now, they're a big I mean, if you watch the OVC tournament, the 1 seed's already lost. So anything can happen. So
Mhm.
we just
Well-
don't know. But if they meet, GCU will, based on seeing certain computer metrics that I'm looking at, they'll probably be the favorite.
I didn't even look at computer
Wow.
metrics.
Dude, this is, yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Randy and I shoot from the hip. We don't need
Oh,
no
yeah.
fancy robots.
But that's
Listen,
your thing. That's your
yeah,
thing.
I still read the newspaper, get
Yeah.
my information.
That's
yeah.
awesome,
actual
Randy.
paper.
Never change.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Never change, Randy.
Never
I
change.
still
Okay.
print up the entire show on actual paper. You know,
There
Phenomenal.
it is.
Yeah. That's
We're very
phenomenal.
stubborn and elderly, I guess.
But I don't blame you. I don't blame you. When everyone's sticking to their ways. Everyone's sticking to you guys are keeping your way when everyone else is trying to make you go a different direction. I like it.
Nobody really cares what we do, actually.
No.
Which is kind of nice. But then
Yeah,
again,
that is kind of nice.
King Kitten says, unfortunately, a lot of pine trees in the valley are planted in the 70s and 80s, and they're possibly nearing the end of their natural life cycle, possibly prematurely brought on by our last 3 brutal summers.
Yeah.
Well, I think these trees were planted like in the 2000s or something. So I don't know. I don't know, King Kittens, but
That's when a lot of people moved. Was 2000s and 90s. That's when people really started moving to Arizona.
I can't believe these matchsticks out here haven't already gone up, but here's hoping. So last night in the NBA, a couple of notable things happened. The James Harden got a 50-point game in with the Clippers, which was right after the game where he lost to the Suns. So, and it was a back-to-back game. So that was impressive on its own. It's like, you just never know what you're going to get with James Harden. He's either Brick-O-Matic, clunk, 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 and playing horribly, or this 50-point game. It is so hard to gauge. If you didn't know where James Harden was in his career, if you had no idea and you sat down and watched him when he played the Suns, you've been like, well, the guy ain't no good. And then when you see this, you're like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. There's just feast or famine when it comes to James Harden.
Isn't that the first time he dropped a 50 dog in the league since he left Houston?
I think it's his first time ever hitting 50. He's had some 40s. I don't know if he ever hit 50 before in his career. I could be wrong, but I think this was his first 50-point game. At least it was his first with the Clippers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it hasn't been like the elite James Harden season that we're used to. Like, he's shooting 39% from the field, 34% from 3. Not necessarily uber efficient, but 88% from the line. But man, so hey, you could say he was due. He was due.
Well, I think people would like it if he would, just play more consistently than this. Like, where was that 50 when we needed it against the Suns, pal? So whatever the case, that was cool. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, he just got his 20,000th point the other night. Making him the 52nd NBA player to reach 20,000. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, when did he come into the league? I forgot.
2014. 2013, 2014, I believe, was his rookie year.
Good Lord. I feel like, man, how did 11 years go by?
It's crazy.
On Giannis Antetokounmpo. I feel like I just learned to say his name, but it was
still learning.
I know I'm saying it right. I said it back in 2017 is when I started saying it right.
Okay.
But wait, how do you pronounce Antetokounmpo?
Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo.
Huh.
I still contend I'm saying it right.
I don't know. I've heard.
You know how I
hear a
know
lot
I'm
of
saying it
different
right?
variations.
Because I heard him say it. And I practiced by listening to him say it.
Okay. I'll hear you. I hear you out.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But maybe he's wrong. All I know is Antetokounmpo is good enough. Close enough. Closer than what I used to call him.
Yeah, I think everyone would know what you're talking about.
That was hard before.
That's why you just say the Greek freak sometimes. Like the Greek freak. It's a cool nickname.
Some words, when you read them, there's no way. But if you hear it, you're like, okay, I'll just mimic that person who just said it.
Yeah,
well, I figured mimicking him would be enough.
Giannis is one of those guys, one of those players that it doesn't matter. You can just call him Giannis, and everybody knows
who that is.
Who you're talking about.
It's like LeBron.
For a lesser man, that'd be acceptable. But I wanted to say his last name.
Well, yeah, I understand.
Antetokounmpo.
One of the greats of all time in radio. There he is right there.
That's according
Triple
to Randy.
H
I'm not
aspire to Jeffrey's greatness here.
I feel like there's some sarcasm involved here.
No, there's no sarcasm at all. This guy likes to do it right.
Randy,
by
serious?
the book. Yeah, yeah.
Serious? Yep.
Yeah.
Randy means business.
I'm squinting.
Well, you could squint all you want, my
trust.
friend. No.
You, oh my God, I was going to say, you want to hear something really dumb, but I just realized we're running late for a break. So let's take the break. We'll come back. I will tell you something really dumb and other things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
It's almost summer, and we're building a Spotify road trip playlist assembled by the Fourth Dimension.
Send us what you think your top 10 road trip songs are.
You heard what Jeffrey said. Send in 10 of your favorite road trip songs to Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. How fun would it be if you could take a little piece of the blender with you on your next road trip? Where should they send their playlist recommendations to, Jeffco?
Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And don't forget, GCU is in action tonight at 6:45 p.m. That's broadcast start, tip-off after 7. And then again on Saturday at 1:45 p.m., the last regular game of the season versus Abilene, Texas is, of course, on Saturday. And then later on Saturday, we have the Ohio Valley Conference Championship. So a lot of NCAA basketball here for you on 1580 The Fanatic. T-Licious says, yes, like a breath of fresh air for our ear holes. The sound of new guy instead of the bronze sexual nut hugger. Just don't ever go full Phil, new guy.
I won't go full Phil. I'm not a bronze sexual nut hugger or whatever he calls it.
Hold on a second. I got to let my dogs out. I think they actually have to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
They're in here with me, but then I think I'm being.
Maybe they got something to say about LeBron.
No, they want to leave. So
They're anti-LeBron.
Oh, they're anti-LeBron. Yeah,
They want to go downstairs where the cool air is. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, they want to be as far away from the LeBron discussion as possible.
Oh yeah,
I think it's too much.
I think you're right.
I think it's too much.
Because they're anti-LeBron dogs, I believe.
Right,
yeah,
and they got a lot of responsibility, Randy. That's a house they got to watch. They got to keep track of. You know? Jeffrey's out here doing his radio show. He could be not looking.
No responsibility.
You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking
front
about?
and back?
Front and back. That's
both.
right.
Yeah.
See, a lot of strategy in place.
Can I tell you what these dogs do? Not a damn thing. You know what they do is like if we get a package, they insist on sniffing it, checking it
just
for
to make
what
sure.
they don't know.
Oh, explosives. It's clear that they're explosive sniffing dogs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Outside of that, they just lay around and do nothing.
Well, that's because they're just on guard.
That's because they've had a long days of work.
Oh,
These need to relax, you know?
These wimpy dogs, man, they'll be like, bark, bark, bark. And then as soon as someone goes, what? And then they just run for their lives.
How many dogs do you have, Jeffrey?
I got 2. I got Debo and I got Buddy. One's a Rhodesian hatchback and the other one is a Cocone.
Throughout my lifetime, I think I've had like 15, 20 different dogs.
Really?
It's been a lot.
Doing experiments on them? Why do you? I mean, why do your dogs die so fast?
No. Well, I mean, first off, I grew up on a farm, so I've
Mhm.
had as many as 6 dogs at once. I'll say. Yeah,
I see.
It's been a zoo, you could call it, of
Ah.
dogs.
That's right, Buffalo Mike. Buffalo Mike reminds us the other thing that Phil was said that was annoying. Phil also set everybody off with Pete Rose talk. That's right.
What do you say about Pete Rose?
Well, we're saying he should not be in the Hall of Fame, and Phil was saying that he should be in the Hall of Fame. We had that whole argument yesterday. So
Why does Phil think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
go ask Phil. I can't remember what he said. Do you remember what he said?
I tried to forget, but I mean the fact of the matter is Pete Rose was banned permanently from baseball, and unfortunately he made a choice to get banned by betting on games, especially games.
Well, and also
that
being a complete jerk about the whole thing.
Well, and he lied about it. He did come clean, and I did say
I respect that.
I did say that in this country there are there are numerous reprobates that are still on the streets after 10, 15, 20 convictions of varying crimes, and they still somehow end up on the street. Meanwhile, a guy who unfortunately made the wrong choice to bet on baseball and then lie about it and wait for like 2 decades before he came clean and told the truth. He has the stiff penalty of being permanently banned from baseball. It doesn't mean, oh, now he's dead and now we could put him in posthumously into the Hall of Fame. No, it says banned permanently from baseball. And unfortunately, and I'm a big Pete Rose fan, I have an autographed picture of Pete Rose right here in my office. And I can tell you that I grew up watching and adoring Pete Rose and the Cincinnati Reds when it was the big red machine. I mean, I was a catcher in baseball. I wanted to be Johnny Bench. I crafted my catching style after Johnny Bench. I loved the way Pete Rose played the game. He was gritty. He was always there. He was always ready to play. He was rarely hurt. He played tough. He played it right. But he can't go into the Hall of Fame. In my humble opinion, he cannot go because of what the baseball rule says.
Even with over 4,000 hits.
Yes, even with over 4,000 hits.
You break the rules, and the consequence, which is something that we don't seem to stick to these days, the consequence was in the language of the rule before he broke them, permanent
And
exclusion.
this rule wasn't just made up. It was what did you say, Jeffrey, back in the 20s?
Yeah, it was made up probably 70 years before he broke those rules, or 60 years or something. I can't remember.
And it's printed on the wall in every major league, minor league, double A, triple A, single A ball club affiliated with Major League Baseball. Every clubhouse has that rule on the wall. Do not bet on baseball.
So
can I say my case for why I believe Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay.
we can probably take you down with that too.
So he was found to have bet on games in 85, 86, and 87, right? That's where he broke the rules. Those seasons, you could say, should be negated. But what about the time where he didn't break the rules? From 63 to 83, still has over 4,000 hits.
That is not how the rules go. The minute you do it, you are now ineligible. And they state in there also from not just baseball itself, but then the Hall of Fame stepped up and said, we're going to get lockstep with this and do the same thing. So whether it's like saying, I didn't murder somebody like the first 10 years that I was an adult, but what about all the times I didn't murder somebody? But I did murder somebody. But I just don't think I should be held accountable for that.
That's different. This is a baseball Hall of Fame. That is why
it's up to the Baseball Hall of Fame to decide what to do. It is up to baseball itself to decide what to do. And what they've decided is, well, we had it since 1921. That was the rule. And again, this really boils down to Harris. He was such a belligerent person about this whole thing. If he'd have come clean right away and been sorry and all that, I would bet they would have put him in the Hall of Fame before he died at some point. He would have been reinstated, having been, repentant, just sorry and okay.
Maybe.
But that didn't happen. He was aggressively a dirtbag about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so baseball said, were never, ever, ever going to go and change this. And there's no reason for them to change it now. The stats aren't the issue. It's what he did that was wrong.
Right. So 85 and 86, when he was found guilty of it, should be negated.
And
from
don't
his
forget
resume.
when he was a manager, he was
Right, right,
also
right. When
betting
he's a
on
manager.
games.
Yes, yes. So his resume as a manager, but from 63 to 83, when he wasn't found betting on games, now that's a different argument.
It's not the way it works.
Well, the question is if
The
Pete
minute
Rose-
you
the
are
question
banned
is if
and
Pete
thrown out
Rose-
of baseball, you're thrown out of baseball. They don't say
Right.
you're only thrown out for this part. You're gone. And it has to be that way as an example to all the other players, or else this would be the filthiest damn sport ever with everybody trying to do what they could and bet on games or
I think the
even
question-
influence the ending of games.
Yeah, I think the question is should be, not should he be, not based on how it works, he's not. Should he be? I believe that he should be because of his resume when he wasn't breaking the rules was good enough.
So
that's why.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
for
let's-
20
let's-
years, he was like, he's
let's-
one of the
let's
best
look
hitters
at-
ever.
Let's look at
Barry
this side of it.
Bonds was really great before he started taking steroids, but he did take steroids. So now,
So you don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
no,
No.
I do think he should. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame
Mm.
because of how good he was at the Pirates.
So this is the new generation of thinking. You get credit for stuff before you did a thing.
What do you mean? You get
Aren't you
credit
to
for
give me credit for all the times I did take out the trash? Well, you've let the trash pile up in the kitchen, and now we've got raccoons. Well, no. What about all the times I took out the trash? Say thank you. It's just that thought process ain't gonna fly here, man.
Well, you should be thanked for taking out the trash, Jeffrey. I think you should be.
If I came in there and I found raccoons and a pile of garbage,
Is that crazy to ask for a thank you?
I will never remember the times you took it out. I'm only gonna remember the time you let rabid raccoons into the house.
Well, maybe that's on you then. You got to remember the good things too.
I feel like Harris wasn't beaten enough as a child. I'm getting that feeling right now.
I'll say I was actually spanked a very good amount. Very good amount.
I can see why.
I can't believe that.
Really? You can't believe that?
You're a good young man. I
You-
can't believe you got spanked.
You got spanked a lot, but
Randy, you should have
evidently,
defended me.
evidently
Should've been
not
there.
hard enough. Hamilton Porter
Ooh.
says if Pete Rose can't be in the Hall of Fame for setting records all natural, then Barry Bonds can't be in for wife cheating. Well, I don't even know about the wife cheating part.
That's a personal thing you're taking into the game. What you to say you can't put him in because I guess I don't know the details, but supposedly
Well, I mean,
cheated on his
your
wife.
opinion on that is also because you're constantly cheating on your wife, Harris.
I don't have
It's
a
well
wife.
documented. Everyone knows.
I am not married.
Just the tip says Randy got off the course the other day.
Yes.
My oldest literally kicking my ass all over the golf course. He was very
Yeah.
polite, very cordial,
Dude, I'll say this.
but I need a whiskey.
Oh,
Whew.
well,
So
let's
my-
get you set up.
Yeah. So my dad played college golf at Ole Miss. Okay. And we're now getting to the point where he's reaching, I hate saying this because I love him, but we're reaching geezer territory with my dad. We're reaching geezer territory. Because when I played golf with him, he can barely like hit the ball and it just like pathetically dribbles like 100 yards and we'll beat him. And he can't take it. So we're like, when he plays by himself, it's like, oh, Dad, how'd you do? He's like, oh, yeah, good fairway, shot a 65. We're like, oh, yeah, right. Cry me a river. When we're with him, he usually shoots like a 100 plus. So I'll say it can be hard for a dad to take it. I've seen it happen. I've seen him crumble about it.
There's a version of that I suffered. And the
Yeah.
version of that I suffered was video game. I used to be really good at playing the video games, but there's
Really?
a certain age you reach where somebody flipped the switch and suddenly I'm like, I was awesome at Halo. Yeah, my son and I would play and we would take a warthog out and he'd drive and I'd be in the gunner and we would wipe out the entire map. And I used to be a crack shot playing Ghost Recon or any of these other games.
Sounds
And
pretty
then it
nerdy.
just seemed like the next generation of games came out. I was just useless. I'm horrible, except for like flying games and Madden. I don't even have any reason to own a console, but there's like a moment where you're going along and it's like all of a sudden you don't know how to do anything. So
Yeah,
I feel bad
Yeah.
for your dad. I can
Right.
I can
See, I didn't-
absolutely understand that.
I didn't let that happen in my house.
Oh,
Harris.
that's good, man. That's good.
The kids got my boys got NFL Blitz back in the day when they were youngsters.
I never heard of that.
NFL Blitz. Look it up. And so I had 3 sons. Then I had a girl, and then I had another girl, and then I had another son. The 3 sons were like the 3 amigos. They were always trying to beat me in video games at one place or another. But this one Christmas morning, when they got the NFL Blitz, they were playing each other. We were playing a round robin tournament, and I was playing the youngest. That would be NASCAR Nick on the text line.
Okay.
And NASCAR Nick kept doing this move where I would have the football, and he would get me in the backfield. And not only would he tackle me in the backfield, he would do this move called the helicopter, where he would lift me over his head, on the game. And,
in the game.
Spin around and then slam me down right there. And he was beating me 56-0. So I finally said, because I'm the commish,
yes,
Nick, you do that one more time, and I'm going to throw the game away.
All that power. All that power.
So he did it one more time. I put my controller down. I was very measured. Went over to the console, ejected the disc from the console, and snapped it to the horror of all 3 of my sons.
Like a $50-$60 game right there.
I did the same thing when I was like 10 years old. Me and my brother would do that.
Yeah. I said, game over, boys. Game over.
Basically,
that's so funny.
Gen X ain't messing around, kid. That's what we're trying to explain to you here.
Oh, no.
Hamlin Porter says, someone punch Harrison, please. Blitz is the greatest football game ever created.
I'll say, I don't know who Harrison is. I don't know who you're punching.
That's your defense against that?
Yep, that's my defense.
He also says, college golf. Is there a less athletic college sport out there? Well, not that you could call a sport.
Oh, here we go again.
I don't think.
Here we go again, man.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Says Bonds and Rose both should be in the Hall of Fame based off what they did on the field. Yes, but here's the thing. Baseball rules said a thing. It was established well before he did it. The Hall of Fame in 1991 said, we're going to go lockstep with whatever Major League Baseball decides. And here we are. So should is one thing. You might think they should. Randy and I think they shouldn't. But what matters are the people in charge of it. So he ain't getting in.
That is true.
Just the Tip says Hall of Fame should be for all. Put the history of whatever they did, separate hall, separate plaque, whatever. Bonds, Alex, Mark, Pete Rose, they should all be in. Well, there should be the asterisk swing then.
I'll say this about the Baseball Hall of Fame. Like, one thing that I respect about it, and you could say this about the Football Hall of Fame too, is at least they don't let everybody in. When you make the Baseball Hall of Fame or the Football Hall of Fame, it's a massive deal. As opposed to like the Basketball Hall of Fame, who like you could make a couple all-star teams and that's it and be even considered. Like, I know Vlade Divac, I think, is a Hall of Famer, and I get that's what he's done overseas, but like made one all-star team and that's it. So I'll say this about those 2 Hall of Fames, primarily the Baseball Hall of Fame. At least they stick to their guns. And I think that counts for something.
Stick to your guns when it comes to right and wrong. Here's the rule. Yep. Someone broke it. You're out. Okay. Well, what about this? No, shut up. Yep. Dodger Danny says, problem is people these days don't understand consequences. That's right. It's what I was saying earlier. People these days don't accept accountability. People these days don't care about cheating. Therefore, let Barry Bonds in. Let Pete Rose in. Let others who violated the rules get in. No, I mean, I know you're just kind of being that way. Yeah, I know that you agree with us, but I mean, it's like, no, I think there's no reason. There's no reason to compromise your principles. It's like, if he wasn't told about it or if there wasn't any information available, then maybe you'd make a case, but he knew.
I'll say this. If Pete Rose bet every single year of his career and was breaking the rules, then I would say no, because his clean resume,
he broke
isn't
the
good
rules
enough.
a lot of
but
years.
He broke the rules.
He admitting to gambling.
85 through 87 is when he got caught.
But he later on admitted to gambling even further back.
That is interesting.
Silver Pop says maybe college pickleball. Maybe that's less athletic than golf. But it's not a sport, so it can't be considered. Slim Pickens Hat says Clemens didn't even get in. Yeah, it's true.
And that's too bad.
Yeah.
I really appreciated Roger Clemens until I found out about the whole steroid thing.
Yeah.
Do it
Yeah.
right and get in the right way, and you'll have no problems.
Yeah.
Don't do it right. You don't deserve to be in, and I'm tired of your whining. That's all I have to say about that. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, I forgot to tell you that really dumb thing. There's a really dumb thing I have to share with you. It's really dumb.
Okay. What's up? What's the dumb thing?
I'm not telling you. What didn't you hear me say? When we come back, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Because we're late for a break again, because nobody's telling me when it's time to go to break. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My best friend died suddenly, and now his wife and kids have to move out of their house. I had no idea he didn't have life insurance. If I could go back, I'd tell him how easy and affordable protecting your family can be with SelectQuote. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent found me a $500,000 life insurance policy for only $18 a month. They compare many of the nation's most highly rated insurance carriers to find the right coverage and price for your needs. In the last 40 years, they've helped more than 2 million families secure over $700 billion in coverage. Even if you have a health concern, SelectQuote agents can find you the right policy at the lowest price. Don't wait until it's too late. Get peace of mind that your loved ones are protected with life insurance.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-480-5454 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-480-5454. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-480-5454.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit HarmonSolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to HarmonSolar.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hungry for something exciting? Then come experience what's new at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 Valley locations. No one does Asian-inspired cuisine better or more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, it isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire with their daily specials. Try their new $12 bar menu items, Wagyu beef and Mongolian pork sliders, chicken or beef satay, and 3 delicious flavors of chicken karaage. 2025 is on fire at Kasai with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road and Thunderbird, and now open in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's KASAI Teppen.com or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
The most important event in sports could happen at any time.
Like right now.
Or right now.
Or even now.
Don't miss history. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's a Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Fish Tank says, I only caught the second half of that 10 road trip songs commercial. What are we doing with that? Well, here's the thing. I already have a playlist working on Spotify for Daily Blender road trip songs. And we say, everybody should contribute to this and send in your top 10 favorite road trip songs. And then we'll go through those and pick out the best songs and put them into the mix. Right now, I already have 75 songs on there. Might be right. They might be wrong. But I got to get a link up on the website so you guys can just go see that. And I figure you guys can go on there and let me know what you hate, what you like, and then you can send in your 10 ideas. We've had a couple of emails already with some ideas. Remember, it's road trips. Got to be rocking. It's got to be peppy. It's got to be upbeat. Can't be something like slow. Somebody put the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does that sound like a road trip song to you, Randy?
Big George.
No, it was. I can't remember who it was. It was Navy Brad or somebody else. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald? Is that what you want to rock out to driving down the road at 3 a.m.?
That is not road trip music. No.
So anyway, that's what we're doing, Fish Tank. We're just trying to come up with a good road trip mix and just have it up there available for everybody on the Spotify. So, hey, Harris, do you use the Spotify?
I'm actually an Apple Music guy.
I know. I don't know what that means.
I know. It's the antithesis of Spotify and some people. It's actually a big debate amongst Gen Zers, whether you are Spotify or Apple Music. Big debate.
Young people like Apple Music and the old people like Spotify?
No. In Gen Z, there's a lot of turmoil. It's pretty 50-50.
So it's just like Apple versus Droid.
Yeah, except Apple clears Droid. I would say it's even more divided than Apple versus an Android.
Well, I prefer Android because all my apps are free. And it's also just a matter of what did you use first? That's the same thing with
just
a
what's
lot
more
of these
convenient.
things.
Yeah.
You know how
Everyone's
an iPhone works or you know how a Droid works, and it is the same crap, really. And then it's like with digital editing. There's a program that you know how and you've learned how. Oh boy, this is the stuff right here.
Yes.
It's hard to learn new things. So
right.
Well, whatever the case, the Spotify is free. If you want it. I mean, there might be ads when you're trying to listen to these songs, but at least you can still be a part of what we're doing, even if you're a Apple Music snob. Hey, how about this, Harris? Could you start an Apple Music playlist that's the Daily Blender? Could you mirror what we're doing on Spotify over on Apple Music and have a playlist for those nerds?
If you send me the playlist,
I'm not going to just make you guess.
Yeah, I probably could. Yeah.
See, that's what we'll do. We'll just make the playlist and I'll host it on Spotify. Harris will host it on Apple Music, and we're done, right? But please don't tell me there's other places we got to put this thing.
I don't really think there is any other than those two.
I think that's the big two, right?
Do I have to get a Zune now, and we got to put that in there?
SoundCloud, maybe.
Oof.
We don't need to do that though.
Well, that answers your question, Fish Tank. And no, Moist One, R. Kelly and Diddy probably will not be allowed on the mix. No, probably not. Just the Tip says, hey, serious talk. Okay.
You mean as in Sirius XM or?
No. He's like, serious. Everybody listen.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I'm listening.
He says Bonds,
yeah,
Rose, Rodriguez, some of the greatest players ever. You let them in. Tell their story. Hockey Hall of Fame is awesome. What you did is verified. On ice greatness, off ice effery. Doesn't matter. They played. They affected the game. They should be acknowledged. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, but if you affected the game in an adverse way, in other words, if you were using steroids to help your game, why would you be let into the Hall of Fame? There would be a shadow of doubt there, would there not be?
What about the time where he was ineffected or wasn't using those things, yet still putting up a really good resume?
Can I tell you who's going to sit there going,
just saying.
Quiet, just the tip. Michael Irving does not want a paragraph in his Hall of Fame plaque that talks about the cocaine. You see what I'm saying? There's stuff that some people have gotten in for. They're like, do we have to give all of this?
I got a question for y'all.
Here?
Do y'all think Antonio Brown should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Antonio Brown?
Yes.
There's a big difference. Let me just tell you where there's a big difference on that. It's hard. This is harder than the cheating or the steroids. CTE is not the fault of the person who got the CTE, but we still want to hold people accountable for their actions. And I got to tell you, this is a hard one, because Antonio Brown playing football got CTE. It affected clearly, nobody acts like that for no reason. It affected clearly his personality and his decision making, and he's nuts. So I struggle with this. On one hand, I'm like,
I figured you would. That's why I asked.
This guy should be held accountable for beating up the guy who was driving the truck with his stuff in it. He shouldn't be, if there's assault of a woman. I mean, that right there.
But is he being held accountable? Like, he's being held accountable, but it doesn't really have to do with the game of football. He wasn't breaking the rules on the field.
Well, no, nobody has talked about
Unlike
keeping
Bonds
him
and
out.
Rose.
He didn't cheat.
Right.
And he didn't take steroids.
Right.
But there are aspects of what he has done in his career that have been very unpalatable, to say the least. That's the kindest way to put it. So I honestly don't have an answer when it comes to CTE. It's like, how do we know he's not just a douchebag? How do we know that whatever happened to him didn't affect that? How do we know it did? How do you know what I'm saying? It's so hard to sort out now, because again, this person's acting like a monster, but that was not how the person was before the CTE.
I think he should be.
Or was he? I don't know. So that the CTE aspect makes everything tougher. It's kind of like the PTSD. You know, you've got soldiers who went to war and fought valiantly and went through some stuff, and then they come home and they lose their control of themselves, and they do things, and they're like, well, we got to hold you accountable for what you are doing, but there's context, there is something behind it. And so I kind of look at the way we look at that the same way we should look at CTE, is the same way you look at somebody with PTSD. I mean, everybody's got to be held responsible for their own actions, but you also have to take into account the context of how we got here. It's never just a black or white situation with PTSD or with CTE. So honestly, I just don't know the answers on that. I guess you have to take it case by case.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I mean, we really got to get a handle on this CTE thing. Fish Tank says, I think it's important that the person will know that they are in the Hall of Fame. And I don't think Antonio Brown's really going to have full recognized. He's not going to know that, you can say it to his face. So I don't know. Let's skip him. Okay. Fish Tank. T-Licious says, you're teetering towards full fill, new guy. They're going to say that if they disagree with you.
I can see. Yeah. I could see that coming.
Moist One says, yeah, but steroids grew the game. Just because it did doesn't mean it was right.
Steroids did not grow the game.
Well,
steroids did not grow the game.
It did have an effect when Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds were doing their steroid-infused thing in the day. But just because it did happen doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean we should be supportive of it. In fact, we should always try to push towards, doing things the right way and the honest way and the good way and not the cheating way and the horrible way. Mysterio says, this is a pretty serious topic for this show. I feel like I'm listening to NPR Symposium. It's very informative. How dare you, Mysterio? How dare you accuse us of that?
Wow.
I am right on the verge of talking about some really dumb stuff. I've been trying to talk about dumb stuff for the last 40 minutes now. So don't come around here accusing us of being intelligent and informative in any way. How dare you?
Take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Harris is going to take it as a compliment, but Randy and I have had enough of your crap, Mysterio.
Yeah. Can I give y'all an NFL update real fast?
No.
Okay. Is it breaking news, Harris?
Yes, it is.
It better be good.
Newsflash. This is breaking news.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have decided to release Evan Ingram.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Decided
Evan
to release him.
All right.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of that, releasings and signings, and this. We'll cover everything that's going on here in the coming hours. We're running out of time in this hour. Let's see. Slow Mo Zo says Aaron Hernandez, good example on the CTE. Yeah. But see, here's what you have to do when you're considering these things. I'm no expert, but I feel like you have to talk to witnesses about how were they before they started playing professional football? How were they in college? How were they along the path? And you can usually find a point where they just sort of lose their mind. And at that point, you can say, it's probably CTE. But
do we know that AB has CTE?
Well, you can't tell until they're dead, and you carve open their brain and you take a look at it. But he acted a certain way in college, and people say that they kind of feel like the switch was flipped somewhere actually in college. He was probably suffering CTE even back then.
Yeah, hard worker in college, as what people said.
And then all of a sudden, things changed a little bit. So, yeah. T-Licious says, if it's okay to break the rules, then why do we have rules, new guy?
Because of the 20 years where they didn't break the rules. There you go. That's why they should be in. For Pete Rose's sake. Yep. And Barry Bonds' resume.
Harris is on an island with this one.
Hey, man. There's a lot of people with me on this one. A lot of people.
0% of people.
A lot of people.
Devil Hawk says, as long as Harris doesn't have the same garbage take as Phil and LeBron James, being the greatest athlete ever known to man, I think we're okay. All right. Yeah, okay.
I don't think he's the greatest athlete known to man.
Hour 2 is up next. Daily Blender.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My name is Mary Grace. Early diagnosis is key, but make no mistake, it is a devastating disease.
For more information, contact us at alz.org or through the 24/7 helpline at 800-272-3900. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
For what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, radio pal Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Harris Hicks in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Hey, Randy, remember you're growing your beard all out for the that wedding you were going to? That was a few years ago, right?
Yes, that's correct.
You think you could do that again if I? We need to take new photographs for the show. You know what I'm saying? Because
you want me to grow my beard out for that?
Well, only if you do it exactly like this. That dude did this hairstyle in 1894.
Yes.
It basically, as he turned his head to the side, it looked like a crescent moon. He had his hair going poofed up on the top, then he had the beard coming out. Because I remember you had that long Henry Rollins kind of beard coming out of your chin there for a while.
Yeah, I had the old goat. Yes, I did.
Could you do this?
Wow, look at that.
Can you do this, Randy?
I mean,
1894.
I don't know why I would want to.
That would be
for our pictures.
I think if anyone in this world could do it, it's you.
I don't
put that on a billboard, Randy.
No, I don't think so.
That is sheer damn awesomeness.
Jeffrey, your beards are more epic than mine.
I do grow a good beard, but
you
the problem
grow a
is
damn fine beard.
But my beard has lost its color. Because right now I got a face full of scruff and you can't even see it. I have very fuzzy right now.
I haven't shaved since last Sunday, so
Harris is all tan. You tan easily, Harris?
Actually, I usually don't. I'm just out in the sun so much.
That's good for you.
I've been forced to. Yeah. With my
we
other
got to get
job,
you one of those big hats, Harris.
My mom honestly thought of me getting that. Like
you should have had a sombrero.
A sombrero. She's told me to get that. I've been
except for some people say that's cultural appropriation. So be careful.
Why would that be?
I don't know.
Okay.
People think it is.
Sure.
Usually wheeze little white people. I don't think anybody Mexican cares if you wear a sombrero. But there's some people down at the university who are like, that's not right. Why are you so weak? I'm a vegan. You know, that kind.
Yeah.
You went to school with them. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Devil Hawk says, can the new guy even grow a beard?
I'm sure he could.
We're trying. Wait,
are you currently trying?
I've tried.
Move your face away from the microphone. Let's take a look. There's no hair.
I got a little tiny scruff. Yeah, it's one of my few flaws.
No.
Yeah, I know.
One of his few flaws.
Few flaws.
Not enough humility. Also, so let me ask you: do you have to shave your entire face or only parts of it?
Usually my entire. Like I'll shave like up here, sideburns. No one in my family can grow a beard, from my mom's to dad's side.
I don't think your mom needs to be growing a beard.
Mom doesn't need
well,
to be.
I said,
why would you even ask her to grow a beard? What do you? She got to join the carnival?
I mean, what if you went home one year and all of a sudden your mom had this like full beard going?
I got a question for you guys because I saw this woman at Sonic who was my server. She was like super nice woman.
Yeah,
but she had a mustache.
Oh,
it was terrible. I felt so bad because I was like,
you sure?
What do?
Wasn't somebody deciding to be a woman? Like a
no, it was unintentional.
You don't. What do you mean? What do you do? You do nothing.
Well, what if because if I told her,
you're gonna point it out.
If I told her, then she would know. I could say, hey,
you think she doesn't have a mirror?
Respectfully, well then if she realized it earlier in the day, it would be less exposed to some people. No one has the guts to actually tell her, but.
It's not like a booger that's coming out of her nostrils. Right. That's facial hair, and I'm sure she knows that there is facial hair.
But I thought to myself, well, it was like a fudge stash. It wasn't like it was like really noticeable.
What's a fudge stash?
It's like 14-year-olds have. You could say,
you shouldn't say a word, Harris. That's rude.
But you could be.
Can I tell you what I ran into? I was doing stand-up comedy, and I went back to the bar to get myself a nice big glass of ice water because that's what I did.
Right.
And because I was too young to drink when I was playing in the clubs. And so I go up there, and I'm standing there, and it's a little quiet, and I'm just going, and there's a lady sitting there, and so I was like, oh. I said, when are you due? She's like, I'm not. It turned out she was just a construction worker with a beer gut.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was just like, oh,
man.
Wow. I am so sorry. I guess I tried to tell you, like, well, the light hit it just right. She's like, no, I know I've got a beer gut. She's like, I work out on the highway. I'm holding up the sign. And she's like, This is just me. And I'm like, okay, sorry.
See, Jeffrey,
But boy, that was dumb of me at 18.
this is your mistake, though. That was an assumption on you. That fudge stash was there. It was clear. It's black
Don't
and
assume she didn't know she had it. You know,
Maybe
what I mean?
I figured that she didn't know.
You reach up and
Based
just kinda
on the
fluff it for her.
context.
Just here, let me get that for you.
No, I
There
would
you
just
go.
say, hey.
It's like,
you know,
hey,
just
what's
a
up, Magnum
reminder.
PI? Can I get my drink? You know, you just don't say anything.
Wow.
Well, why do you need to involve yourself in her facial hair, Harris?
It would be, Kobe had this quote. I'm going to use Kobe Bryant here. He said, if my friend had something in his teeth, I'm going to go and I'm going to tell him, hey,
Fair.
you've got something in your teeth. Because then he would know once he knows. You know, I could say, hey, you have
her facial hair is not something in her teeth or in her nose.
Right.
It's something on
But
her
maybe
face
it's something
connected
that she didn't know.
knows about.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe she didn't see it.
Yeah, and also, you're right, Moist One. You can't really listen to Kobe, who also thought no means yes. You know what I'm saying? You can't really take what Kobe said yeah, sorry. Ask that gal in the hotel room in Colorado about that quote. Latina Leprechaun says, dear God, Jeffrey, you never ask a woman if they're pregnant or in their due. Didn't your parents teach you anything? No. And I was 18 and I was just trying to be friendly. And I really thought, oh, this lady's about ready to give birth. I learned a valuable lesson right then. Walter Mellon says, question for Harris. Have you been slapped by a lady yet?
No.
It's coming soon, he says. If you say anything to the lady with the mustache.
Not in the face. I have like on the shoulder, but not like straight up in the face.
On the shoulder?
Like on the shoulder. Like I've
was
been
that
like
all
little,
about?
like a
What
little
happened
hit.
there?
Little hit. I'm trying to remember.
It's like I just said that maybe if they put a hinge on the peg leg, it would make it easier for her to get in the car. That's all I said.
I think I just said some joke, and I don't think she liked it. I think that was context.
To
be honest with you, that was kind of it.
If you don't listen to anything we say, trust us on this. Leave the poor lady with the mustache alone. She's got enough problems in her life. She doesn't need to hear about it from you.
She was nice, and so I felt like that would be a nice thing.
You really she's like, I have a nice interaction with this young man. And then you turn around and say, by the way, you got a mustache. And then she starts weeping.
I
How are you
think I
gonna
would
feel?
say it in a more graceful tone than look.
There's
and
no
point at
graceful
her
tone to
and
tell a
say,
woman
by
she's
the way,
got a
you have a
Fu
mustache.
Manchu.
All
Just
right.
trust us. Don't do it.
What do you
Silver
think?
Pop
What do you
says, I
think,
hope
Brady?
Harris never has to serve jury duty. Going to be a lot of criminals running free on the streets. Fighty Wampa says, was this lady drinking at the bar? The one that she was just sitting there. I don't remember. And again, 18. If she was sitting there drinking, if she was drinking a beer, I didn't notice because I was dumb. Hefty Lefty says, you can pay to get slapped by a woman if you really want. Doesn't sound like Harris is going to have to pay for that. I feel like he's going to get that for free and often. Now we're at the point where it's been an entire hour. I want to tell you something that is just really dumb. And we've talked about this before, but the dump is at its pinnacle peak of everything. Remember I told you how Adrian Wojnarowski was going to auction off a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, the phone he used to get breaking news. Yes, go ahead.
And a bunch of credentials and things.
Yes.
So the whole point of it was that he wanted to get some money in the NIL fund for St. Bonaventure University. As you know, he went there and now he is a GM there.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, let's do this thing. And so here's what has sold already. His 2021 NBA Finals Suns versus Bucks credential, $750.
Wow. Really?
$750.
2024 NBA Finals credentials, $900.
Wow.
2023 NBA Draft credential, $925. 2023 NBA All-Star Game credential, $1,000. NBA Draft for 2024 credential, $1,400. The iPhone used for his farewell post in the final NBA draft, $1,750.
Really?
iPhone used for the 2023 NBA draft lottery and NBA draft, $2,700. iPhone used to break the news the NBA suspended its season due to COVID in 2020, $3,250.
You got to be kidding me.
What are people?
Well,
What is
wait.
the decision?
Plus, the iPhone News report the 3-team trade involving Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis, that went for $5,000. So here's the thing. He sold all this stuff, and if you first thing you think is, Jesus, people are paying that for that stuff? And the next thing is, that's not going to make a big dent in your NIL situation.
A little bit, but
you
not
basically
much, yeah.
made, but barely $10,000.
I'll say this too. Sometimes I struggle to understand NBA fans because NBA fans as a whole, like this shows like they care more about NBA fans, I believe, care more about trades, Twitter reports than they do the actual games. The fact that a finals credential sold for $700 and him breaking a trade sold for $5,000. That's pretty nuts.
And then what? Then that's like
pretty crazy.
This is the phone that Woj talked about the trade, and people are gonna be in their house at a dinner party going, and
like,
well, why did you do what?
Why $5,000 is crazy.
It's in like a fancy frame hanging on their dining room wall or something,
And it's like it'd be cool if the credential had your name on it, but it'd be like Adrian Wojnarowski. Like who? Some girl may see it, be like, who is that? Who's Adrian Wojnarowski? Oh, just something I bought. He's this NBA insider. I bought it for $700 or $1,000. Why would you do that?
There's no resale value on any of this, and
Heck no.
you're not going to be able to trade this later. If anybody spent any money on this, it was just they thought they were doing something charitable for St. Bonaventure University. But no, I was wrong on the math. As you know, we don't do math here. It's 17,675 for the Bonnie's men's program. But how far is that going to go, really? I mean, I don't know. It's not a lot in the NIL world.
Can't believe it's going to go very long.
Maybe
at all.
for a school, a smaller A10 school like St. Bonaventure, it'll do something.
Something. Not much, but something.
Right. Yeah.
Slow Mo says, Harris, don't say nothing next time. You're going to have mustache hair in your food. Oof. Or worse, a different kind of hair, if you know what I mean.
Oh, man.
Mysterio says, you know what? I'll sell you my phone for $5. First come, first serve. Yeah, I got some old phones in a drawer.
I think that's a trick. I think that's a trick. I don't believe it.
All of it is just garbage. So this is dumb as hell. It's dumb as hell that people would buy it. And like Randy has said, this thing is wiped. There's no information on here. You don't have any phone numbers. You don't get to see the actual texts like as you scroll through like it's your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you could, who cares?
Yeah.
Does anybody care?
Yeah.
Do I want the phone that Woj typed it in?
It's just the phone. What's the difference?
I don't see any. Although the auctions for dinner with Woj and video call with Woj still accepting bids. I don't know what that's
kind of cool. That's cooler than the other ones, but like, I don't know if I would.
What would you even ask him? What would you're having dinner with Woj and you're like, so what's going on?
You know,
You'd be
me
like, I
being-
don't know. I don't do that anymore.
Me being the college first guy that I am, I would ask him like, what's it like being the GM of a college basketball team?
Well, I just started, so I don't know.
He's got some. I mean, he started.
I don't know if
He's
he
gone
sounds
through
like.
this
I've never
season.
heard him talk, so
Yeah,
I just.
He's,
I just assume he sounds like that.
he's interesting to listen to. He'll European. I mean, good
What?
talker.
Yeah, okay. Well, whatever the case, yeah, that's dumb as hell. That's when I said you want to hear something stupid. I think that's pretty stupid.
God, that's ridiculous.
And not him doing it. I think that's
That
nice
is
of him.
insane. That is
But I'm saying
really
people who are spending that money on a lanyard credential or on a dead phone makes no sense.
I've got a bunch of credentials I could sell if you guys would like. I mean, I could auction those babies off.
$10,000. I'll buy it. I'll buy
I
it.
have
$10,000.
The phone that Jeffrey cursed me out one night on. I've got that. I got that's up
That'd
for
be
sale.
any phone you own, I think.
$1,500.
Sure.
Oh, 1,600 right here. 1,600.
I've got 16. Do I hear 17?
I don't care. You can screen grab and put those texts online. I don't even care. So you need a new TV show to watch. I found one. This is pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
New Netflix comedy series called Running Point. Have you heard about that? Kate Hudson, Goldie Hawn's kid, is playing the part of Jeannie Buss, basically, in a fictitious version of the Lakers. And Jeannie Buss, turns out, is one of the producers on there. So, it's a comedy.
She's one of the producers.
And it's really good.
Potential conflict of interest, though?
There's no conflict of interest. It's not about the Lakers. It's a fictitious version of the Lakers, and it's a very similar story. Like, when Jeannie was younger and she posed in Playboy, well, they had, this character do the same thing. And it's really a funny show. I mean, there's a silliness factor where you're like, okay, we know better than this. But if you're just watching it, I had no expectations. I was watching it at wife point, basically. I had no intentions of watching this. My wife wanted to say, let's see what this is. And I'm like, I don't know. And so we watched it and turned out it's funny. It's well acted, well written, and it's funny. I really am enjoying it so far. 4 episodes in or something. So it's on the Netflix, called Running Point. And, it's a very similar storyline to how she got to be president of the team. But in the fictitious version, her brother, who's running the team, gets busted on drug charges, and he turns control of the team over to her. That didn't happen with the Lakers, but a lot of the other little elements of it, you can tell. And here's something else I didn't know: Kate Hudson and Jeannie Buss, they've been friends for 30 years. So
I did not know that. Wow.
That there are aspects of the reality kind of sprinkled in to these things. And I'm just gonna say, even if Jeannie Buss wasn't involved and this was just a show, it's funny. It's legitimately actually pretty good. So I think you guys should try this. It's called Running Point on Netflix.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch a lot of shows. I
figured you were going to say that when you told us you play a lot of Beethoven in the car.
I don't watch a lot of shows. I mean, it is tough to find time these days, but sometimes I'll do it when I can.
Well, I mean, you got sports on TV, right?
Right. Yeah, I watch obviously that. Yeah. But that takes up like all of my free time.
Yeah.
And so,
and I've got a wife, so there are things I watch at wife point. And, I don't mind when they're good. I mean, I was really happy. This one turned out pretty dang good. My wife's got good taste in shows. So generally,
that's good.
Whatever she goes with, I'm an easygoing guy. So if she wants to watch something, I trust her taste. If she wants to eat something, I trust her taste. It's gotten to the point where she thinks probably I'm boring because I have no opinions. I'm like, no, I got plenty of opinions. I just agree with you.
Yep. You're in a good spot. You're in a good spot, Jeffrey.
Good thing to do, Jeffco.
Yep.
It means we don't fight about nothing.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, we do fight about stuff. It's like we don't ever fight. So then it's like it's an out of control brawl over a roll of paper towels. It's like how dare you? And like, this is the dumb crap we're going to fight about. Okay.
That's marriage in a nutshell. I feel like, from what I've heard.
I figure if that's as bad as it gets, then things are going pretty good. So, tip of the hat to my wife for saying we should try this. And now I'm going to say you guys should try it. Running Point on the Netflix.
Alrighty.
Let me know what you think. 888-368-1580. We got to take a break. When we come back, we will move on to other assorted things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year, Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate, including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at HarmanSolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to HarmonSolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's HarmonSolar.com.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Weekends now through March 30th. Hubba, hubba, huzzah! Huzzah! Great shopping. A giant crafts market. You'll love the Renaissance Festival with your favorite shows. Be ready to have a great time. And don't be afraid to participate. Huzzah! Jousting nights. Huzzah! Silly fun for the entire family. Huzzah! Happiness reigns at the Renaissance Festival. Huzzah! Lots of new shows, non-stop feasting. Leave your cares behind. It's fun and affordable. You'll adore the Renaissance Festival. Weekends now through March 30th. Discount tickets available at Bashers' and Food City or online at arizona.renfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashers', Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
Pepsi is a proud sponsor of the Arizona Renaissance Festival. Enjoy a Pepsi with royalty at the Renaissance Festival this weekend. Huzzah!
The stadiums are empty. The crowds have gone home. The locker rooms have been cleared out. And the cheerleaders have hung up their pom-poms. But we're not done with football. There are coaching moves, player news, the combine, draft picks, and NFL news out the squeaker. Football is always in season here. This is mandatory. Don't miss anything NFL. Let's go. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Your home for the NFL.
Stay Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right. We're getting closer and closer, talking some more NFL football stuff. There's been lots of movement. There's been deals made. There's been players cut. I tell you what, everybody's getting ready for something, and you can kind of get an idea of what is going on with the team by the things they do right now. You know, you get an idea of what they're at least gearing up for. It's going to be a really, really interesting free agency, I think. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. By the way, you remember those dudes that froze to death out in the yard?
Yeah, oh yeah,
And Kansas City,
Kansas City guys, yeah,
yeah. So they were out there. They froze to death in the yard, and the police came around looking for him, and they tripped over him. They're like, "Oh my god!" And they scraped him up off the ground and took him. Well, now finally, two men have been charged in connection with their deaths, because here's what happened. It wasn't as much that they just died because they froze to death. It was kind of the cocaine and the fentanyl that they got.
Well,
so
there's that. Yeah.
So
that
now
would make more logical sense.
Yeah.
They announced that Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson have been hit with 3 counts involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts delivery of a controlled substance. And that's the thing these days. If you give somebody some drugs and it kills them, you're going down. And Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson all died and froze in the backyard after a Chiefs game.
On God's green earth did they figure out that these guys were responsible with selling these guys drugs?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Well, here's how. Because it was in their system. So they knew they took it. So then it just took some time in investigating, saying, okay, talking to witnesses, who was at the party, like, where did this come from? And then finding information, and then probably sitting down and interrogating Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson separately. And you start to get a picture of things. And now they had enough of a picture to go ahead and charge these guys.
Wow.
Really
okay.
sad.
All right.
Really
Police
sad.
work these days, it's incredible.
It really
you know,
is.
how they can come up with stuff, you know?
Like detectives and those people. Fascinating. Fascinates me.
Slow-Mo Zoe says, hey, how did that tofu breakfast go? Oh, she didn't do that.
I don't think
she's not going to do that to me. She ain't going to. I don't think she's done that to me. But
no,
yeah,
I don't.
She ain't gonna do that to me.
She wouldn't do that to you.
So anyway, so I just thought you'd like to know about that.
Well, thanks. That's a great update.
Well, I got a nice update. I have a nice update.
Okay.
I guess they did a profile on this college basketball player named Bailey Cinnamon Daniel, born with one arm, and she plays for Lesley University in Massachusetts. Turned out she got cut from her high school team her senior year, and she says it motivated her even more. And now she recently became the first female player with one arm to make a basket in Division III game.
No
So
kidding.
that's pretty cool. That's
Wow.
nice.
Good for her. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We gotta give her a hand.
That's
It
super
just
cool.
Oh,
I mean,
wow, Jeffrey.
congratulations.
Oh,
I should
wow.
have said that. Sorry.
Hmm.
Oof.
Whoa, whoa.
Jeffrey.
But it was an
That's
uplifting
low. That's
story.
low.
It was uplifting.
That's wild.
It was. It was.
That's
Do you
wild.
think Devin Fitzgerald will be as good a player as his dad?
Who knows? Who knows?
His dad being Larry Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Bill
he's-
Belichick in North Carolina just offered him a scholarship.
Well, I mean, he has all the tools. He's got all the resources. I mean, he's going to. Is it Brophy Prep right now? So he's getting a quality education.
Yeah.
He's getting a quality football education as well, and he's probably grown up, loving the game like his dad. And who knows? I mean, what does he? Does anybody know what he plays in high school? Is he a wide receiver like his dad, or
He is a wide receiver. He's ranked as the 76th best wide receiver right now, according to 24/7 Sports.
no? kidding?
And yeah, he's
So 3-star.
three-star.
Yeah. That will get you D1 for sure.
And
Yeah.
I
Good
guess
for him, man.
Larry's pretty happy about this. And it's like, but here's the thing, though. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to be weird or nothing, but Larry's got tons of money. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Does he just let him be on the team? But does he need the scholarship? Use the scholarship for somebody who doesn't have any money. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yes, but I mean, why shouldn't he get a scholarship if he's good enough to get a scholarship?
No,
why
you
not?
know, I'm just saying.
I mean, you want to offer scholarships to people that are going to help your
scholarships should go
club.
to kids that can't afford it.
Well, I mean, there
Yeah.
should be. I think there should be programs to help kids get a college education.
Or
Absolutely.
maybe maybe
Mhm.
Devin Fitzgerald could say, I'd be happy to be on the team and go to school here, but give the money to somebody who needs it.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's a known thing too that Bill Belichick offered him. I guess he offered him at UNC. It's a known thing.
Did
It's
they
a-
offer him NIC? I mean,
Offer him-
NIL?
It's only thing that's been reported is the scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's been reported. But the New York Post reported it, and so there you go. He's a good player. Good player.
Walter Mellon says, okay, this is Harris speaking here. Excuse me, miss, I couldn't help but notice if you simply had another arm and hand, you'd probably get a better rotation of the basketball.
Wow.
Then he gets slapped for mentioning it. He thinks you made the joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did not make that joke.
Mhm.
So you see how that goes, though?
Uh,
Now think about replace that with mustache. You're going to get smacked.
Excuse me, ma'am. Could I give you a hand? Oh.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
you see what I
I
mean?
did not make that joke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See what I mean?
Not make
But
that
now
joke.
you have because they
Yeah.
think you did.
They think I
and
did.
that's all that matters.
Hansel
Fourth Dimension is
Emmanuel,
on.
also at Austin P. I don't know if you guys have watched him. One
Who?
arm. Hansel Emmanuel is his name. He
Han
plays
Solo?
Hansel Emmanuel.
Oh, Hansel.
Not the guy
Like
from
Hansel
Star.
and Gretel?
Not the guy from Star Wars. No.
No.
I did not know that. Tell
Yep.
me about him.
He plays at Austin P, which is actually really close to where I grew up. Now, Austin P is a really interesting basketball team. Their coach dresses in like full camo military gear. It's wild. And they got one. Hansel Emmanuel has one arm, and he's like pretty good. He doesn't play like a lot. He's more of a reserve guy, like a rotational guy, but he plays.
Mhm.
He plays like 14 minutes a game. He's shooting like 60% from the field. Like, it's impressive. He's a good player.
I
So
would call him Han Solo for
look
sure.
up. Yeah, it's a pretty sick nickname. He should run with that. So look up his highlights if you ever have the time. In Austin P, there's like a clip of like a player throwing up mid game on the court, and then you look over and the coach like with the military outfit and like the guy with like Hansel Emmanuel with one arm. Like, it's just a interesting team. I love watching them. So if you ever
I
have
don't
some
want
free
to watch
time,
nobody
go
throw it
watch
on
it.
the court.
Why
What
are
the hell
you
is that all
asking us
about?
to watch somebody vomit on the court?
That's weird.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It
Unless
was
you
just-
turn and you see the coach
it's
going,
just- it's just college basketball in a nutshell. It's just like You don't get that in any other sport. A coach in a military outfit, some guy thrown up on the court mid game with like someone really good with one arm. Like it's just awesome. It's just all
I
awesome.
don't know that you could actually play basketball in a nutshell. Randy, I'm not an expert, but I don't
Maybe,
feel like
what
there's
if you
enough
put a-
room in there.
what
Not
if you
for
put a
full
goal?
court.
Yeah, no,
I could see that. Yeah, that's a good point, Jeffco. For a while, I thought you could inside of a peanut shell, but now that you bring it up, yeah, you're
Well, you know
right.
the ones where you got 3 peanuts in there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
What you think about
Maybe.
it? Very critical thinking, Jeff. Very critical thinking.
Oh, we're very critical on this. on this
Maybe
radio
they were
program.
right when they called you intelligent.
Mhm.
Maybe they were right.
So Pac-Man Jones. So we earlier talking about these Pete Rose talking about all the steroid guys.
Yes.
Well, this is a
Yeah.
different angle, and I kind of wonder if there is, I don't know, something. So Pac-Man Jones has admitted that he never used his own urine when he would take an NFL drug test.
Interesting.
He says, I cheated the program like I was really good. People don't know how smart I am. But like I say it now, I don't play no more, but like I never used my urine for a urine test, not one time. And he says, that, well, he had that little device, right? Using the old Wizinator, right? Well, when somebody
The
admits,
Wizinator 9000.
when somebody
Wizinator 9000
admits that they cheated
Sounds like a
later
Terminator.
on,
yeah,
it isn't even about the Hall of Fame. But they're like, oh yeah, I did tons of steroids. And you're like,
Was his more weed related or
was there a
steroids
statute
related?
of limitations on that? Well, yeah, I'm sure it was more weed related, and it's not a performance enhancing drug anyway. Now, medical marijuana is legal in like 37 states. That's fine. But the point is, he's like, oh yeah, I used to break the rules all the time. And
See,
you're
that-
like,
that-
oh,
that kills me.
okay. What do
That
you do with
kills
this information?
That is tough.
It's kind of strange to hear somebody
Former,
talk
Ti-
like
former
that.
Titan Pac-Man Jones.
I mean,
Why
do-
would
do
you admit that?
Do you go back now and eliminate any of his records if he has any?
I don't know. Is he? I
Do
don't
you-
think Pac-Man Jones is getting in the Hall of Fame, right?
Well,
But
I,
what
I,
is
don't- I
that?
don't know.
No.
I don't know, but do you do you go back now and eliminate accolades?
What accolades did Pac-Man Jones get?
Well, I don't know. I'm
Pac-Man
just saying.
Jones was an All-Pro one year. I could be mistaken. But
Do you take
he was-
him off the All-Pro list?
I
Good
don't know.
question. Then again, it's like I'll say this. The NCAA took away Louisville's 2013 national championship run, right? Or USC's 2005 national championship in football. But if you ask anyone who won the national championship in 2005 and they remember, they'll say, "Oh, USC. That was an awesome team." They won't say, "Oh, it was vacated by the NCAA, so nobody." So at the same time, it's like, what is that? What does that
Yeah,
really
but any
do?
any kind of situation where they
really
take away something, we all know who won. That's right. But I don't know, just weird. Pac-Man Jones is openly admitting something like that, and you're like,
Pac-Man Jones was must-watch TV. That guy before there was like Josh Norman or any of these defensive backs or Richard Sherman. Like there was Pac-Man Jones. Him and
Yeah.
Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah.
Oh, must-watch TV.
Portland Finnegan. That's right.
Yep, real throwback.
Oh yeah.
Real
Yeah.
throwback. Yeah.
Well, you've got a great memory on you there, Harris.
Thank you so much, Randy. I appreciate
don't,
that.
How do you do that? I can't do that myself.
Silver Pop
Thank you,
says,
Randy.
guy in a military outfit, isn't that considered stolen valor? Well, it's not really military. He said it was military grade camo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Camo is just, you just don't want the, I don't know why you'd wear that on a court. There's no
is
deer out there.
that he does not want to be seen?
Maybe that's it.
No, like
Because
legit.
his
Like he
coaching's
was
so
in.
bad, he doesn't want to be seen out there.
Jeffrey, I'm going to send you this picture, and you will see.
No,
He is
send it to the text
legitimately-
line so I can see it on my computer.
He is legitimately wearing like military outfits.
Moist One says Adam Pac-Man Jones is the only player in league history to record a sack on defense and also be sacked on offense.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, Pac-Man Jones is fun.
So while Harris, but just text it to 888-368-1580 so I can see it here. I don't
Got
have to grab my phone on this. Randy.
Yes, I'm here. I'm awake. Not like last time.
We've all been at parties, and
yes,
there has been some drinking, and somebody
occasionally, yes,
falls asleep or passes out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It happens.
Yes.
Sometimes you draw things on their face.
Maybe.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you pose them in funny ways and take pictures, and sometimes you just leave them be.
Yeah.
Well, some guy, I guess, drank too much at a family barbecue, fell asleep in a hammock. I feel like that should be a safe place.
Right there.
At a family barbecue at a hammock, that's very safe.
His brother-in-law decided, because he didn't have a shirt on, the guy.
He didn't have a shirt on.
Yeah,
Dear
so
God.
his brother-in-law
All right.
filled his belly
he was hot.
button
I don't know.
with super glue.
Oh my God, no.
He just
heck no.
And so then there's this solid thing of super glue in his belly button.
Oh no.
So that lands him in the ER, right? So they had to use like solvent and ointment trying to get the glue out, and then he got a medical bill of $2,200. Now, this happened several months ago, and his brother-in-law refused to pay for it.
Oh my gosh. That makes me frustrated.
So he took him to small claims court. He won, but then the brother-in-law still hasn't paid. Now, the guy went on Reddit, and he was like, I don't know what to do. He's asking for advice because it caused a giant rift in his family. His wife's side thinks he overreacted and shouldn't have gone to the hospital in the first place. He said his wife is barely on his side.
What?
His brother-in-law,
his
brother-in-law is going through a divorce and is in between jobs. So with the quotes on in between jobs, that means that guy hasn't worked in a while, right?
Yeah.
The mother-in-law said, well, I'll pay for this. But she's on a fixed income and he doesn't feel right taking her up on that. So he's like, what am I supposed to do here? What's up, and
this is nuts.
So what is he supposed to do?
This is crazy.
First, probably divorce your wife. Because barely on your side? Yeah, I think it's time for you to move on, my friend. But as far as it goes, it's like, there's not a lot you can do.
If he's in between jobs, like you can at least do a monthly, maybe like be like, hey, you don't have to pay me up front. We'll just do a little monthly payment here. You know? Like it doesn't have to be
the thing.
like
They don't think it's a big deal. If that entire family thinks, oh, he's overreacting and he shouldn't have even had to go to the hospital. We think he's right. They think he's wrong. So forever, he's just the jerk. He's always going to be wrong in their eyes.
Also, it's not brother. It's brother-in-law. Brother-in-law. Big difference.
Doesn't matter. Her side of the family, his wife's side of the family, if they think he's wrong, even though we think he's right, if they think he's wrong, then that is always going to be an issue. The family's always going to hate him. The wife is going to resent him. My advice is get the hell out.
Yeah.
That is terrible. Like, if you're the one that did it and he had to go to the hospital and get it out and it cost $2,200, and you are the one that made the choice. The dude sleeping on the hammock couldn't control that.
But let me just back it up
just
just
on
a
the
little
hammock
bit.
at a family barbecue.
Let me back it up a little bit. If I wake up at Randy's house, we've been smoking cigars and I doze off and I look down and Randy just laughed because my shirt came up and he poured a bunch of super glue in my belly button. I'd probably think it was funny.
Yeah,
and I'd just be sitting. I think I would really try for a while to get that out before I went to the ER. You know, I probably would be like,
maybe he did though.
You know,
maybe he did.
Well, from what it sounds like, he didn't. So maybe I could have gotten it out and not gotten the bill for that. You know what I mean? But if I can't get it out, well, then that's another story. So that's my only thing is I, you know, I don't. Maybe you should have tried first. Make the effort first, so that way the jerk side of the family wouldn't be able to say, "Oh, you overreacted." It's like, hey, I worked on this thing for weeks. It wouldn't come out. I had no other choice, and then I wouldn't go to the ER where everything's more expensive. I just go to the doctor. Bring the doctor.
Brother-in-law, if you're listening to this, hey, Bill.
Yeah,
he can't.
I think that first of all, it was the guy ought to be. If I'm the guy with the super glue in my belly button, shame on me for not wearing a shirt.
Well, no, not shame on you. You thought you were in a safe
You're at
place.
a family barbecue.
Yeah, well, I
You're not
understand
in
that, but
public.
shame on me for showing my my goods off to the entire family here. You see what I'm saying? But two, shame on the brother-in-law for pouring super glue in this guy's belly button.
Right.
If that would have happened to me, I would have laughed and then decked him and just knocked him out cold. And I would have encased him in super glue. So
I'm just
he
saying,
would have
hey,
awakened with a straw in his mouth,
right.
completely encased in super glue.
Put his hand
like
Han
Han
on his
Solo
face
in the
when he's
carbonite.
knocked out, and
How
just
do you
glue
like-
his hand to his face.
How do you like me now, Jack? That's the way that would happen.
Right.
All I know
Randy.
is this guy learned everything he needs to know about his wife and that family in this moment.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's all
You're
there is
right.
to it.
Wow.
So
How
I
did
feel
that
bad
even-
for you, but
How did that even get public?
all you can do, well, because it didn't go public until the guy went on Reddit and said, can
What do
someone
I
tell
do?
me, am I the a-hole here? What should I do about this?
Mm.
Now, of course, people on Reddit, they were saying, yeah, you should probably just work with the court to garnish his wages, which is no good if you have none. Other people said, do what Randy said, prank him back.
Yeah,
someone else said,
valid.
go on Judge Judy. Well, what's the point? You went to the real judge. So you already have a judgment. So I
Yeah.
don't know. There's
But
not much you can do.
Judge Judy doesn't hurt though. You know.
Well, it doesn't. I don't think they'll take it because it's already been decided by a court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
What was the decision by the court?
Guilty, and they ordered that the brother was supposed to pay, and he just didn't. So
That is
anyway,
absurd.
yeah, that I just I don't know. You know what? I'd be picking at it right now, just trying to work it out, trying to work as we're doing the show. I'd just be I'd get a shoehorn in there. I don't know what I would do.
Shoehorn.
You gotta do something.
Dude. Yeah.
Steak knife.
Yeah.
Latina Leprechaun says, I don't know. If that happened to my husband and he went to the ER and made a big deal out of nothing, going to court, I'd barely be on his side too.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. What if he tried to get it out? It wouldn't come out, and he did have to go to the doctor.
That's
to get
what
it
I'm
out.
saying.
Fair is fair, Latina Leprechaun.
Come on now.
Silver Pop says if the guy in the hammock would have wore camo, his brother would have never been able to find him.
That's it.
That's right.
See?
Couldn't see
Situation
him.
was totally avoidable.
Yep.
Jet says everyone knows you're supposed to use Elmer's glue in the belly button, so it looks like something else.
Mm-hmm.
You're a very gross person, Jet.
That is great.
Big George
Very
says, hello,
gross.
gentlemen. Happy Thirsty Thursday. Sorry, just getting on the show here. Nice to hear Preparation H is on the show today.
No, it's Triple H.
Well, he says he's a
Triple
nice
H.
fish.
Triple H, but preparation
complimenting
H,
you.
I'll take
Yeah.
that. Thank
He's
you.
complimenting.
Thank you. I appreciate
All right,
that.
we got to take a break. Let's come back, and we got more stuff we got to talk about. The NFL is in a frenzy. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, years and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
It's almost summer, and we're building a Spotify road trip playlist. A simple but for dimension.
Send us what you think your top 10 road trip songs are.
You heard what Jeffrey said. Send in 10 of your favorite road trip songs to Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. How fun would it be if you could take a little piece of the blender with you on your next road trip? Where should they send their playlist recommendations to, Jeffco?
Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. Stay Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, so I was able to look at that link that Harris sent me about Corey Gibson, the Austin P. Governors?
Austin P.
Yeah.
Governors.
Dude's wearing military outfit. It's not a hunting outfit.
It's literally a
actually
military outfit.
little military cap and jacket. He's not rolled up or
It's
nothing.
so based. It's
What
awesome.
in the hell is wrong with this guy?
Look, man, we're going to war.
It's awesome, dude.
Somebody needs to have a conversation with him. Is there no ROTC that can come over and say, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be wearing that, coach?
Dude, he's
that's-
committed to the bet.
That is not great. Was he in the military?
I don't know.
That's the thing. You need to look this guy up, check his Wikipedia and see. Because if he was not in the military, this is not good. If he was, then it's like, all right, I can see that. He was in the military. Why he's wearing it on the court, coaching a basketball game in college, I don't know. But if I am the athletic director and I see that, he gets 1 day out of that. I'll be like, hey, Corey, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I would strongly assume he was in the military.
Look it up and let's verify. Well, I want to know. Wikipedia, that guy.
Yes, I am looking it up at the moment. I'm seeing what I can find.
Well, let's see here. Text. Let me clear this up. People are texting in about the guy who had a belly button full of super glue. Kyle G says, not a big deal. Just leave it in until it falls out. You know, not like your fingers stuck together or they're in your ears or something important. Yeah, I think that dude overreacted. Yeah, I agree. I think that he probably should have tried to work it out himself before running to the ER. And then you don't go to the ER where it's more expensive. You just go to a regular doctor and say, you got something for this? You know, it's not, yeah, he did make a big deal out of it, but still, he did learn everything he needs to know about the other family, right?
Yeah.
Silver Pop says, Harris, I believe when the fourth dimension refers to you as Preparation H, it's because you are soothing to the ears. You should take that as a compliment.
Thank you. I do take that as a compliment. Thank you very much for
That's
that.
not where Preparation H generally soothes anyone, but I think you got him fooled, Silver Pops. Swave Dave says, Brandy, it was so nice going into work this morning with the clouds looking like rain. Any chance we'll see more of that tonight and actually get some rain? I think he meant Randy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he meant to call you Brandy.
Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you will be.
Yeah, but he wants a weather forecast. Can you give us a weather forecast?
Oh, hell yes, I can do that. From the 1580 The Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White, where currently in Spread Eagle, Wisconsin, it's 38 with a chance of snow. In Phoenix, it's 66.
Did you say Spread Eagle?
Spread Eagle, Wisconsin.
I want to
Spread
live
Eagle.
there.
Spread Eagle, Wisconsin. That
Yeah,
sounds
I'm looking
awesome.
it up.
Wind currently gusting quite substantially, 26-mile-an-hour gust coming out of the west-southwest. The when it's not gusting, it's 17 degrees. And there's a 70% chance of precipitation tomorrow with a high of 55. Again, 66 degrees where you're at. From the Harvard Solar 1580 The Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White. Back to you, Jeff Cole.
Thank you, Randy. Devilhawk says, I don't know which commercial is better, Satellites from Space commercial or Jeffrey's enthusiastic attitude in the road trip radio commercial. Yeah. Do you want me to say that? Because I did not sound very enthusiastic in that.
Okay, so what I read.
Harris talking to Randy.
Oh.
Do you want me to reread that?
Well, I could just tone it down, but I
No, you don't need to tone it down.
I
mean,
thought it was
Never
fine.
tone down, Randy.
I did sound a
thank
little
you,
bit
Harris.
mellow on
Yes.
Well, it's because you didn't know what kind of tone I was going to go with, and I had this nice kind of plotting music, sort of road trippy music.
You know what
behind
you
it.
could do? Just go back and speed up my voice so I sound happier.
Well,
I
I could speed it up, then you
Yeah,
would
but-
sound like Alvin or one of the other.
Do you want me to reread that part? I mean,
I
all
mean,
I
you
gotta do
can if you
is say
want.
the phone number, right?
Well, no, not the phone number.
What did I say? What was my line?
You've got to say, well, your line was send in your 10 favorite road trip songs to Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot to remember.
Well, I know.
Well, let's just leave it as it is. I'll
All
listen
right.
to it again, but we may have to fix that.
I mean, out of the three
you
of
know.
us, I am the most excitable, I think.
You're very excitable, but
you're
I'm
you're
pretty
measured.
excitable.
Well, yeah, you can be. You can be. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm paid to, sure.
Yeah. There's the
Jet
whole
says-
sponsorship thing again. We'll sell out for sponsorship.
Oh yeah, I'll sell out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Randy will never tone it down. Don't ever do it. Jet says. Always go 100%.
That's right, Randy.
Thank you.
He's
Thank
right.
you. Thank you all. Thank
He's
you.
right.
Just because I'm sleepy doesn't mean you got to slow down.
That's right.
Big George says, man, this poor Super Blue guy is not getting a lot of support. I think he did the right thing, and he needs to divorce that crummy wife of his ASAP. It's not easy to win in a small claims court either, by the way.
I mean, look, I would, like Jeffrey said, I'd ixnay on the old Airy J.
If
That's
you
pig
want to
Latin,
be,
you guys, I don't know if you knew that. That's pig Latin.
I got through the code.
if you want to be a good pranker, you
I
got to know the
DaVinci'd that, Randy.
consequences.
Thank you.
Well, you know, he said he was a pranker. It was the other guy. The other guy.
Well,
that did
I'm
the prank.
talking to the other guy that did it. So yeah, that's what I'm talking to. If you want to be a good pranker, you got to know the consequences.
I'm guessing the guy who poured the glue into the belly button is probably bigger than the guy who got the glue in the belly button, because Randy and I, we would have woke up, found that, and beaten the hell out of the guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah,
would have been the end of
literally
that.
encase him in super glue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, they do unto me, I'll do 10 times unto you.
Oh, absolutely.
You do not want to prank war with me.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Mm-mm. So Harris sent over to me, and I kind of appreciate this. It's the entire list from Adam Schefter, players who got informed of their release this week, and it's a hell of a list. Like, you could put a team together, maybe. Here's who has been released so far: Devontae Adams, Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
By the way, is that the good Bosa or the bad Bosa? I get them confused. So.
That Chargers Bosa was the guy that was not the racist, I think.
Okay, so this is the good Bosa. Evan Ingram, Tyler Lockett, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Javon Hargrave, Gardner Dam Minshew,
Which I still can't understand. Gee whiz. But anyway,
Jamal Williams, Devin Duvernay, Draymond Jones, Roy Robertson Harris.
Hello.
Any relation?
No relation.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
It's his last name.
Okay.
Don't contradict me. Rayshawn Jenkins,
Facts.
George Fant, and Raekwon Davis. That's a lot of guys getting
So
released
far.
right there.
So far, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that the releases are interesting, but also the signings are as well. Swave
But
Dave says, has anyone Trevor tried a spread eagle on the rings? What?
Oh, you mean like the what's it called? The Iron Cross?
Okay, hold on. I think I can read this. Has
The Iron
anyone
Cross.
ever tried a spread eagle on the rings when you do the gymnastics in gym class in junior high? I only saw one kid who could do it for more than 2 seconds.
The spread eagle on the rings.
Where you got the rings and you're like this, and then your legs just go. You do the splits in midair.
No, I tried to do the Iron Cross. I was a lot lighter back in the day, and I don't mean skin color. I mean weight. I wasn't.
I've never been lighter.
You mean both?
Well, no, you. If you got lighter, Jeffco, you'd be transparent.
Translucent is
He'd
the
be
word.
he'd be a cloud.
You could see my heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Casper the ghost.
So no Swave Dave. The Jet says typically when a guy puts it in, Just going to stop there. Moist One says,
Good call. Good
I like to
call.
prank Mr. Wilbur by rubbing a little Bisquick under his nose.
Huh.
But am I telling the truth?
What?
I don't get it.
Yes.
Silver Pop says, I agree with you, Randy. In regards to the glue dude, you wake up, you whoop his ass.
That's
You know,
it.
Not doing so in any capacity just invites more pranks. It'll gradually get worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was me that said that, but I think we both said it. So
Yeah.
we have like a couple of different texters who will jump in and mistake something you said for something I said, or something I
Well,
said for something you said.
See, you always think you don't have a good voice. I think you have a great voice.
Well, our voices
And,
are not similar.
And our voices are very similar.
I think you guys both have very good voices, objectively.
Well, thank you,
See?
Kiss Ass. But what we're
Thanks,
just saying
Eric.
is that they don't sound like the same voice.
Hey, that's what I believe.
You can tell us apart,
But
right?
anytime.
You can tell us apart, though.
I don't know. You know what they say about married couples? They've been together for so long, they start to look like each other, sound like each other, act like each other. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've never been married.
Well, we've got a 30 spot under us easy.
We do have 30 years.
Yeah.
That's longer than I've been alive.
Thank
There
you,
you
Harris.
go.
I think we all knew that.
Thank you.
That's to say, like, that's more of a congratulations to your friendship. 30 years. A
I
30-year
took it that-
friendiversary is
I
awesome.
took it that way, Harris.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand Triple H. I
See,
got
way
you.
to find the positive, Rand.
But
See,
the real
I'm trying.
question is, do we sound like the same person? We have different voices here.
No.
Mm.
You have different voices, very different voices. You don't sound like the same person.
Yeah, he's got a cool radio voice.
No.
I
Yes,
just
he
have a
does.
friendly voice.
Both of you do. I mean that. Compliment.
The Jet says, Jeffrey, you may not realize this, but sometimes people text in stuff that's exactly what you just said. Oh, no, I do realize that. George does that to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Pop says, great minds think alike, Jeffrey. Well, I don't
Yep.
know what you think we're doing, but
Mhm. Thinking
Latina
alike.
Leprechaun says, why are half the texts into this show so dirty? I thought this was a friendly show for all
It
ages.
is.
Boy,
It
have you
is.
made a horrible mistake. This is
Yeah.
not a
Not
family-friendly
for all-
show.
No. This
This
is
is
rated
not
R.
for all ages. And if you got your kids listening, that's kind of on you. Anyway, that's 2 hours down, 1 to go. We're coming back talking nothing but football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
To a corner office?
There's a creature, beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest Damage Protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year, Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Weekends now through March 30th. Hubba, hubba, huzzah!
Huzzah!
Great shopping. A giant crafts market. You'll love the Renaissance Festival with your favorite shows. Be ready to have a great time. And don't be afraid to participate.
Huzzah!
Jousting nights.
Huzzah!
Silly fun for the entire family.
Huzzah!
Happiness reigns at the Renaissance Festival.
Huzzah!
Lots of new shows, non-stop feasting. Leave your cares behind. It's fun and affordable. You'll adore the Renaissance Festival. Weekends now through March 30th. Discount tickets available at Bashers' and Food City or online at arizona.renfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashers', Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
Pepsi is a proud sponsor of the Arizona Renaissance Festival. Enjoy a Pepsi with royalty at the Renaissance Festival this weekend. Huzzah!
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-289-6215. That's 800-289-6215. 800-289-6215.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime. When does it start?
Right now.
3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Harris Hicks in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Randy just walked out on us. There he is.
Oh, there he is. He came back.
No, I'm here.
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
Hi, Randy.
Hi,
Howdy.
Harris.
Hi, Jeffrey. How's it going?
Fine. How are you?
Good, man.
Slave Dave wants you to give your best Barry White style radio voice.
Barry, I'm not familiar with Barry White. I'm going to be honest with you.
Triple H?
Yeah. Barry White? You don't know who Barry White is? Randy, hit him with some Barry White. Could you do that?
Oh, yeah. I can get a little Barry White here. Yeah,
Oh, my gosh. So here's the thing, Harris. You don't want to play Beethoven while you got a gal around. You want to play some Barry White. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I've played Beethoven, and she stuck around.
Well, watch what happens when you play Barry White. My God.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, yeah. You get a little Barry playing.
Oh, that's
With
not
Barry.
his most famous one.
We'll do this
Love
one.
that. There we
I've
go.
heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby.
Aha.
I don't know about that. Many times we've loved, we've shared love and made love.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't seem to me like it's enough. It's just not enough.
Harris.
Here it comes.
Ain't get enough of your love, babe.
Yeah.
Ain't getting enough of your love.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, there's other songs too, man.
Oh,
Any
yeah,
song
yeah,
is a
yeah.
panty dropper by Barry White. I'll tell you that
Penny
right now.
Dropper.
Oh,
I think I just found the song I'm listening to on the car ride back from work.
No,
just saying. That's
you need,
awesome.
You need to get a collection of the best of Barry White.
Oh, yeah.
This one here. This is the one. Turn it up.
There you go. You go.
We definitely got our thing together.
This will get it moving.
This is awesome.
I love that he does a monologue before every song.
Get you going.
I can easily feel myself slipping more and more away.
She'll run through your brick wall to get into
Oh,
your
yeah.
place.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Oh,
That's the world of my own. Nobody but you.
I don't think this is scripted.
Oh, no.
That's the best part, man.
Get it together.
I'll bet you this is like how Randy sounds when he wakes up in the morning.
It is.
Exactly.
You guys are too kind.
My first, my last, my everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer
Have that on in the background when she comes over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You get a little Barry going.
I'm going to take that advice, and I'm going to let y'all know how it goes.
You need to educate
Next time I see
yourself in the ways of Barry White.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that'll change
Yeah.
your life, man.
You're right.
Change your life.
Hey, you learn something new every day on the Daily Blender, and I think I just learned something new.
It's really not intentional, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
happens. That's
Yeah.
the best part. It's unintentional, yet you still learn something.
Can't
How
help
about
it.
that?
We're brilliant. We try
How
not
about
to
that?
be.
Well,
Beer Nut says, "Hey guys, just want you all to know that the Kasai advertising works. My son keeps hearing the advertisement while listening to you, and well, so here we are." And he sends a picture of him and his child at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. They got themselves a table, and they're filling. It looks
Awesome.
like he's filling out his sushi thing right there.
how fun.
Excellent.
All right.
You will not be sad you went. You'll be very happy you went.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes.
Yep. Yep.
Booger Wolf says, "Did the Renaissance commercial just say nonstop beasting?"
No,
Uh-oh.
feasting.
Okay,
feasting.
Yeah, feasting. Yeah.
It's not like Marshawn Lynch. It's not like
Yeah.
beast mode.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, Jet. Barry White did not sing the Pina Colada song. Shut up.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
Serge Ives a lot says he doesn't know Barry White.
Yeah,
What would you
well,
expect? He's 23 years
he's-
old,
he's
and
a
Barry
youngster.
White's been dead for a while, and this is from the 70s and 80s.
His big bros
I
here.
do
has
now.
gotta- they got to help him out here. You know, they got
That's
to
right.
spread a little wisdom to this young man.
He just leaped a light year in how he's going to listen to music and interact with the ladies.
Hey, I know now.
Mm-hmm.
It works 100% of the time, every time. So
Yeah. I imagined Randy waking up in the morning sounding exactly like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I do.
Yep.
you're not far off. You're not
Mhm.
far off.
Mhm.
But that's going to get you far. Now, just go in there to wherever you do music, best of Barry White, and you'll
Oh,
get a
yeah.
bunch of great
Yeah.
music.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome. I
Have it
appreciate
on the
y'all.
background on a Sunday morning,
Mm-hmm.
then call the girl.
Oh,
That's right.
She'll hear it in the background and be like, "Oh, you know
What song was that y'all just played?
Well,
It was a great
let's
song.
see.
Get It Together," right? Wasn't it?
I can't get enough of your love.
That was the
one
first
of
Get
one.
enough
them.
of your love. All right.
And you're my first, my last, my everything was the other song.
Got
yeah.
it. Got
Oh,
it.
yeah. And there's more.
Heck yeah.
There's
Just look
just
in
more.
your
Heck yeah.
music. In your music, just search Barry White.
Barry White.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That guy was the man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
The man.
His undoing, though, and seriously, this is a real story. His undoing was he loved fried chicken so much he ate it all the time, and that's what caused his health issues.
Oh, fried chicken's so good, man.
But he
I-
lived life
know.
and he did what he wanted. So respect on
But
that.
hey,
though,
he
too.
lived a happy life then. If he was eating
Mhm.
fried chicken, man, he lived a happy life.
He loved it so much.
Yeah.
I had fried chicken last night.
That's awesome. How was it?
Well, there you go.
Wasn't that good? Can I tell you what happened?
What?
Fry's Food Store used to have the best fried chicken around. And I would eat that. Oh, I'd be so happy. The flavoring was perfect. Everything was great. Now it's just they changed the formula and it's just never been the same.
Shoot.
It was okay chicken. So I'll eat it. You put it in front of me, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
But it's just not what it used to be. I'm very sad.
Man, that's a bummer. That is a bummer.
I got to go find me a new favorite chicken. But
yeah.
That's too bad.
That's too bad, Jeffrey. That's too bad.
Booger Wolf says, "Who's the new fish?" Well, that's Harris, Booger Wolf. That's Harris.
Booger Wolf. Some of these
Killer-
usernames are nuts.
Well, Booger Wolf has a history.
Oh, is that so? Is that so?
He got ran by Jim Rome, and we've got a copy of the
serious?
audio somewhere. It's pretty
Somewhere,
good.
He got ran. Define ran by Jim Rowe. What is
Well,
that?
meaning that he was on the show, and he pretty much just hung up on him because of his name.
Yeah, he.
It's like nobody cares why you're Booger
Are you
Wolf.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh, well, glad you found a home here, Booger Wolf.
Killer Rabbit says, "I won't be around to hear you read this, but thank you for playing Barry White. My wife just took my hand, and now we're headed upstairs."
Awesome.
Oh, hey, have
Awesome.
fun. Have fun. my
Love
friend.
it. Have fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Have fun.
All
Swave
right.
Dave
Awesome.
says,
Yeah,
"Can't get enough of your love. Could
Shut
be
up,
a road
Borat.
trip song if you're with your lady."
absolutely.
Ooh.
But no, that will not go in the that's not going in the road trip mix. That's in your personal private
right.
sexy time mix, which
Yeah,
we
we
can make
can't-
one. We can
we
make a
can't-
Daily Blender sexy time list.
Can't have you guys doing this on the road. Okay, easy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this has got to be your Daily Blender After Dark mix.
After dark.
That'll be next. That'll be next. I promise you, we'll do one. Mysterio says, "Wait a second. Did that texter just suggest there is bestiality going on at the Renaissance Festival? That
No,
is
no.
sick.
It's got feasting.
Why'd you take it
Mysterio.
there? Why'd you take
Feasting.
it there?
Huzzah!
But that
Yeah.
is what Moist One does.
Yeah. Feasting.
That's
Yeah.
his role. He knows his role.
Just the Tip says, "Randy,
Yes.
as a catcher, would you
Yes.
rather take a pitch from Juan Marichal or Vita Blue?" Oh, two of the best pitchers ever, period. Also, opinion, if they were on your team, you'd win a shitload of games, right?
Damn right. Vida Blue was one of the great pitchers for the Athletics. Juan Marichal. Oh, I think I would like a Vida Blue. Juan Marichal, nothing against Juan Marichal, but Vida Blue, I did a report on him when I was in high school. And I never had the opportunity to meet him yet. I'm hoping to meet him sometime. But what a nice guy. But I'll tell you what, something happened to him when he hit the mound. He became an angry warrior, and it was his goal.
Randy Johnson.
It was his goal to take down everybody that came up to the plate. Vida Blue, man, he was one of my younger life heroes.
One of
really
the coolest
appreciated him.
names
Yeah,
in sports, Vida Blue. I mean, come on, the ring to it. I just discovered he's not in the Hall of Fame.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow. I mean, he was really good for a while with the
yeah.
A's.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a
Marichal is, I believe.
Oh, I think Juan Marichal's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Poutine Paul, I'm not reading that. You should know better than that. Sir Drives a Lot says Barry White, the ultimate wingman. He was the wingman for 50 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir.
Everybody's happy when they hear Barry White. Everybody's happy.
Good vibes right now.
The mood changes.
The mood totally changes.
The mood's changed with the UFL, hasn't it? The UFL.
Yes.
The UFL. I remember the other day I told you that they had some players that were thinking about striking, which I think is hilarious. And because that'll just shut the whole thing down. You'll never hear from them again. Now it turns out that the UFL threatened players with release if they don't show up for the league's media days. Because what's been happening is certain players have not been going to certain meetings and certain things, and sort of leading up to an eventual thought of a strike. So now they're saying, people at the top are saying, hey, listen, if you don't show up, you're just going to be cut. You're going to be let go.
Do they even have a union for the UFL players?
That's a good question, but yes.
I don't. They do?
Yes. Well, they're organizing a union, at least. That's part of what this is. And so the league's kind of gotten wind of that. And so they're trying to put a stop to it. You have to understand, it's kind of like, we're an independent radio station.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a whole lot of people working there. But if all the people who work there decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to unionize and strike. That wouldn't make any sense. We can just walk into the office, have a sit down with Radio Ron and say, hey, man, and we can just talk about it. So it's kind of like that with the UFL. It's bigger, but still, it's like you can unionize when the league's not making hardly any money. The players, you're just here to try to impress the NFL so you can move on and be a player there. So it's tough. I mean, I understand wanting to be paid a fair wage, but you have to look at the context of everything else. I'm sure UFL is losing money as they try to get rolling and started. This is a tax write-off for a bunch of Hollywood people, I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
But The Rock is involved too, right? So I see both sides of this, but at this scale, at this level, I don't know that this is really going to help you guys, the players. If you guys strike, you cripple the UFL, it shuts down, you get nothing. You get no money at all.
Right. Yeah.
You get no opportunity to be seen by the NFL. Across the board, you will be shooting yourself in the foot to make your point. You might even be right, but you could destroy your own efforts.
That's the thing to me. I mean, why would you want to, second year in, try to organize this union? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You're exactly right, Jeffrey, because you're cutting your feet off out from under you by trying to do this.
Fun fact: also, the UFL was not reported as profitable in its first season.
Right.
Yep. It is, however, getting to that point. They got good viewership, but ticket sales, which is how you make most of the money, a dramatic amount of the money comes from ticket sales as well. They were down in that category. So
it will never work. Spring football will never work.
Here's the thing.
Minor league NFL, whatever you want to call it, it will never work.
Here's the thing about it too, is like the G League is funded by the NBA. Minor League Baseball is funded by the MLB. The AHL is funded by the NHL, right? The WNBA is also funded by the NBA. And so for this to work, you need to not just get people on their televisions, you need to get butts in seats. So what you got to do is the NFL is the known football league. Okay. That is the pinnacle. What are you going to do to separate yourself from that? What are you going to do differently? There's got to be some rules. There's got to be some players, maybe even bring back the nicknames like the XFL, do some things differently.
Work. Nothing you do will work. And here's why. The NFL does not need a minor league version. The NFL has something called
College
NCAA football.
Yes.
And as long as the NCAA football is happening, that's your feeder system.
Right.
A couple of guys from the UFL or the AAF or the XFL or the USFL, whatever you've called this bull crap over the years, a couple guys make it and everybody's like, see, it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't work where it matters. And it's exactly what Harris said, butts in seats, money,
and you're not getting
being viable.
Yeah.
The NFL doesn't need you. The NFL has the NCAA, which has a whole lot more eyeballs, has a whole lot more impact. And then what are you doing? Hey, as soon as they decide they're going to leave NCAA and come to the NFL, we're going to have a big old party and we're going to pick who we want. And that's huge too.
Yeah.
And they don't need the UFL. And I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry for the players who want that second chance. They couldn't get drafted. They want a chance to be seen. Listen, I can appreciate that. I'm sorry, but it's few and far between. They're going to make it. And there's no way that the spring football is going to work as a business model.
Because the thing about it too, like I talked about the butts in seats, like I'm going to look at like, say, the WNBA and the NHL. Okay. The WNBA gets a lot of exposure on social media. Caitlin Clark is a star, but you look at the league, well, they're not getting people in seats. Well, that's why they aren't able to make money. Is ticket sales are the driving force.
Well, WNBA is improving.
It is improving. It is improving. I'll say that, but they are struggling to get people in seats. The NHL is not. The thing about these other football leagues is you've got to get the towns unified. You've got to get the towns bought in. And if you do that, then there's a chance. So you've got to go to places that don't have NFL teams. That's what you got to do. You got to get these towns excited about football and get them in the seats. That's how ultimately you'll win it.
You need to Green Bay Packers. This is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yep.
You got.
That's a double-edged sword, though. You can go to a place where you think, oh, they might be hungry, but you also might find yourself in a place that doesn't have the population to support it. And then they might be like, we didn't ask her this. We don't care about this. I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
There's places you could go, like I know you could go Memphis, you could go Birmingham. I'm just saying bigger cities that don't have professional sports teams to where you could unify them. That's just off the top, but that's just off the dome. There are other cities that are like that. Just an idea.
I mean,
floating it around.
That's an idea to help improve something that is a failure.
Yeah,
and the UFL,
it's hard to do.
That model, again, the XFL, the USFL, the AF, the awful, whatever you want to call it, it's a failed model. It's failed over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Tax write-offs for all. So these guys wanting to strike is a huge mistake.
It is a massive, it's not good.
Each one of
them
these
or the league.
Each one of these leagues only lasts a couple of years. During those couple of years, a select few lucky people actually get seen, and then they get to get moved up to the NFL.
PJ Walker.
They get their chance
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're now going to blow the last year of a chance that you might have to see that happen.
So we looked up, Jeffrey, we talked about this on Monday, and Randy, you were there too. Average salaries for players in the UFL.
It ain't much, but it ain't
It's
bad
not
for
much,
a few
but
months
here's
worth of
the
work.
thing. If you are, would you rather be, bagging groceries or selling insurance or playing football and making 50 to 80K per year?
Or
50
doing both and pulling six figures because you did that for that period of time and you did your other
Exactly.
job. So
And so it's not perfect. It's not the NFL wage, but it's also doable. In which if you get to do what you love and get a doable wage off of it, that's not too bad. Not too bad.
a lot of shooting themselves in the foot, I guess. But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do I know?
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, let's talk about some of the cuts and some of the trades, or not trade. Well, they're kind of a trade, a pre-tampering trades. A lot of NFL stuff. Come on back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-289-6215. That's 800-289-6215. 800-289-6215.
Every day we knock on doors, tell people how they can cut their power bill in half, and get this, most don't even listen. So instead of walking miles in the sun, we figured, why not buy a radio commercial? Here's the deal. You can switch to solar with zero down, save up to 50%, and never stress about rising electric rates again. Most people will still ignore this, but not you, right? Visit us online, savewithsolarnow.com for your free quote. That's savewithsolarnow.com.
It's almost summer, and we're building a Spotify road trip playlist assembled by the Fourth Dimension.
Send us what you think your top 10 road trip songs are.
You heard what Jeffrey said. Send in 10 of your favorite road trip songs to Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. How fun would it be if you could take a little piece of the blender with you on your next road trip? Where should they send their playlist recommendations to, Jeffco?
Blender at 1580thefanatic.com. That just didn't. Go ahead. That didn't sound unenthusiastic. A little mellow, but it wasn't like I was happy.
Yeah, I thought it sounded fine.
I don't think we need to change that.
No, absolutely not.
Man, always a critic.
Yeah, well,
always a critic.
There's somebody always out there hating.
I guess so. 888-368-1580. Just the tip says, 1973, my mom took my brother and I to spring training A's games, where what is now ASU Baseball Stadium. I saw, I met, and I got hugged by, and will always be a Vita Blue fan. Vita
wow.
Blue, sorry.
Wow.
Stud. Probably kick your ass in the parking lot if you got too stupid.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
definitely probably strike you out. And then,
yeah, absolutely. Again, his whole demeanor would change though when he hit the mound. It was like he locked in, and it was on from there.
Is it Vita or Vita?
Vita.
Oh, I did say it right first.
Yeah, you got
Blue.
it.
Vita Blue. Yeah. So he's also sent a picture of his A's issued shoes, which is kind of cool there. So
That's
thanks
really
for that,
cool.
just the tip. Swazman says, Jeffrey, this football league controversy. First of all, I didn't know there was a controversy. Didn't think there was a controversy. All I knew was this football league is players might be trying to strike. I don't know if that's controversial, but all right. He says, it reminds me of the new Coke controversy back in the day. No matter how hard they tried to push it and market it, it just didn't stick because we all just wanted the old Coke back.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, we have the old Coke. It's called the NFL, and it'll be back pretty soon. And we have enough things along the way, to try to keep us busy. Because look, we're about to go into the free agency, and then we got the draft at the late part of April, and then you've got the OTAs and all the stuff that happens over the summer and the drama, and then you got the preseason, and then we're back. So we have our fantasy football draft stuff too. So across the board, there's enough NFL, and then it's good that we miss it. Isn't it good that we miss it? Isn't it good that it's gone for a little bit and it makes us appreciate it even more?
Yeah.
And then
give room for other sports too.
Yeah, and then when it comes back, everybody's hungry for it. The NFL knows that, and people are going to preseason games in mass, and they're showing up for the workouts, the training camp workouts and stuff
it's
like
year-round,
that.
Man, they got it down.
Oh yeah, they got something happening all the time, man.
Yeah, and I'll say one of the best, in my opinion. And there's a lot of different days people like, but my two favorite days in sports. Now, I'm biased because I'm a college sports guy primarily, but two favorite days in sports: round of 64 start up in the NCAA tournament when all those games start. Just sit back and watch, and college football week 1. Because football is starting.
Thank God he didn't say week 0. We hate week 0.
Week 0 shouldn't exist.
We do not observe week 0.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He needs to be on the show. Thank you very much.
He is on the show now, Randy.
Yeah, that's it. Lock him in.
Yeah.
Lock him in. I approve. Yeah.
Thanks, Randy. I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, week 0 shouldn't exist, man.
No,
what the hell are they doing?
Yeah,
man.
If there's something actually happening that matters, call it week 1.
I think college sports has gone away from really good openings, like college basketball. Like, in my opinion, college basketball should always start with the Champions Classic with Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, and Michigan State every year. Start it with those 4 teams. No other games need to be played except for that.
Wow.
Yep. College football, start week 1, get a good matchup going. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Now.
There are plenty of good sports days throughout a year. And I'm just going to say, again, the NFL doesn't need the help of a smaller league. And we don't care about a smaller league. Some people try. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm a fan. Some people try and it just doesn't work out. I'm like, man, just, look at history.
Come on now.
Don't buy jerseys for this.
Yeah.
You're just breaking your own heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Horn Ninja says, hello, gentlemen. I was at Giants back in the day at Candlestick Park before the game, and Vita Blue got married on the field.
That happened?
I didn't know that. Vita Blue
know that.
Got hitched on the field. Huh? Very cool.
Really?
Wow. What year was that, Horn Ninja, that Vita Blue got married on the field? I'm curious to hear that. That's kind of cool that you got to be present for that. And are they still together?
Yeah,
I am interested. 888-368-1580. So we kind of went down a list of the people who got cut. One of the persons who was cut was Joey Bosa from the Chargers. And now the 49ers are saying they're looking at the idea of bringing Joey Bosa in and pairing him up with Nick Bosa, having the Bosa brothers out on the field. Does Joey Bosa still have it? Does Joey Bosa still have it? Was this a matter of him aging out, or was this a matter of them like, okay, we got to make some cap space here? Why did they cut Joey Bosa?
I get it's the Pro Bowl. I get it's the Pro Bowl, but he was a legitimate Pro Bowler last year. He still got it. Still got it. Yeah. In terms of why he got cut, it was a cap move.
Yeah,
it saved him a lot of cap space for them to potentially go after.
Well, scheduled
receivers.
to make $25 million on the contract.
A lot of money. And so I think when you look at the Chargers roster, they have everything you need for a team to contend for a Super Bowl, except for one thing: go-to guy receiver. This gives them the ability to do that. That's, I think, solely why. Oh, Phil's in. I think that's solely the reason why. Yes.
Nobody understands the hell you just said that.
I just got
some things are for the inside.
You're right.
Some things are for the outside.
You're right.
What I'm understanding is Phil has shown up at the studios and
Phil has joined the
probably
chat.
Scared Harris a little bit.
I was like, who turned the light on? Is Jeffrey here? Is Jeffrey here? Oh no, it's Phil. I didn't know if you were like two places at once.
Well, Phil's going to be working the GCU game later.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's why.
Okay. Got it.
Jeffrey can do that though. Beware. He can be at two places at one time.
I've been known to do it.
Yeah, I believe he can. I'm not going to underestimate his game.
Horn Ninja says Vita Blue. Which one?
Vita.
I'm pretty sure it's
Vita.
Pretty sure it's Vita.
Ghoulbox says September 1989, but they divorced 7 years later.
Oh.
Someone got the itch. Horn Ninja,
Well,
but still cool moment. Still cool.
Doesn't
to see.
doesn't say that he married anybody else.
He's pining away.
89 to 96, they were married, and he passed away in 2023. I'll never get a chance to meet him, and that's too bad. I hate that. But
You sure?
Vita Blue, passed away. Yeah.
When?
May 6, 2023, in Tracy, California.
Did you see the body? Are you sure?
I'm just reading it on the website here.
Might have faked it.
Well, it could, yeah.
Why is
could.
Phil trying to talk on a mic? Why is he knocking
I
on it
don't
like
know.
he's knocking on a door?
Yeah.
What are you doing? doing?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Phil.
you guys can hear me.
We
Fantastic.
can hear you, Phil.
Okay,
I turned
fantastic.
Phil on. Here he is. He's here.
You turned him on.
Yeah, well, it
Oh,
wouldn't
no,
be the first
didn't mean
time
it
there.
like
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What happens in studio?
That's why happens when you
stays in
turn on his
studio.
mic like that.
Mm.
What do you want, Phil?
Well, I just had to come. So do you want a summary of
You just
today's
had
Daily
to.
Blunder?
Uh-huh.
A summary of today's Daily Blunder, hour one. So
Uh-huh.
Phil was crazy yesterday, and here's why. And LeBron
Oh,
James
yeah,
is
yeah.
somehow
We covered all that.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
yeah.
shut his mic
Yeah.
off.
And
Triple H.
hour
I'll keep it on.
two.
Just shut his mic
So
off.
the guy overreacted for getting absolutely blasted in the belly button,
Mhm.
and somehow
Well,
he's
he was
wrong.
asleep, and they just put.
Yeah, and
super
that's on
glue in
him.
there.
Are you kidding me?
What?
I never
Are
said
you-
it was on him. I said it. He was right to be.
No,
honest.
I'm completely on that. That is a safe space. Like
Safe
there's a certain
Your belly button is a
allowance-
safe place.
My belly button is a very safe space. There are a couple.
I can go near it.
I
I
respect
have
that.
not heard that.
Thank
I-
you for establishing that boundary. sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if I
Yes.
ever fall asleep here, there's a nice comfy couch here in studio. If I ever
It's
fall
so
asleep in here,
comfortable.
I would absolutely be livid if Harris filled my belly button full of
Uh-huh.
super glue, Elmer's
Yeah.
glue,
Yeah.
whatever it is in there. If I wake
Right.
up and my virginal belly button has been perturbed,
Virgin belly.
Yeah,
I don't
nothing-
believe that for a second. Phil.
if something has,
I mean, there's a lot of things that I believe you, but that I do not believe.
and let me tell you, nothing has entered this belly button since
Mhm.
birth. Let me tell you,
Uh-huh.
that is the
Phil?
last time.
Phil, just know you're safe. I would never do that to
I
you.
I don't
appreciate
think
that.
anybody would
Never
mess
do
with
that to you.
anybody's belly buttons around there.
No.
Well, you
No.
say that until you see that Reddit thing.
Hey, Ralph loves
People
himself
always
some
know.
leather. I don't know what he's into.
Ralph might.
yeah,
Ralph
yeah.
might, or he'll get
No,
someone
yeah.
to.
I've
Yeah,
still never
yeah.
met Ralph.
Yes.
No,
He could be.
it's
He couldn't be
it's an
real.
ex-
He could be a
it's an
figment of my
experience.
imagination. For
It
all I
is
know.
an
You know how you haven't
experience.
met Ralph yet? Because you haven't caught COVID in a while.
That
Yeah.
is true. Yeah.
He's a super spreader.
Oh no.
and then he also spreads infections and germs and sicknesses.
Oh
Mhm.
gosh,
Mhm.
dude.
There's
Oh,
a man spreader
Okay,
amongst us.
I
Back
will
to the-
avoid
What
by
do you
all
want,
means.
Phil? What do you want?
The only thing I had was Harris. I have a specific thing against you, good sir.
What do you have?
You're
Ah.
somehow brought to the greatest athlete of all. See, I heard all of Randy's, I heard all of Jeffrey's arguments, and I thought I had faith in you, Harris. But
Yeah,
you had the gumption, you had the gall to bring
Uh,
up Michael Phelps.
Oodles of gold. He's got
Immediately,
oodles.
that's the first thing you brought up.
Yeah,
Oodles and oodles of
At
gold.
the end of the day, yeah, you want all of them? No, Michael Phelps and his webbed feet could not play against any cross sports. First of all, he couldn't play
We're not talking
lacrosse.
about cross sports.
I'm-
You're talking about greatest athletes.
greatest
of all time.
And
athletes
you dare to mention that he has what 28 gold Olympics? Can I tell you
Yeah.
the most overrated Olympic sport?
Oh my
The
God.
most
Here
overrated-
we go.
We're
Here we
trying to
go.
talk football here.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
The most overrated Olympic sport is swimming because
Oh my
hold
God.
on, hold on.
Oh no.
Do you think that maybe who was the fastest runner over there? He came out of Jamaica and everything. I'm trying to think.
Usain Bolt?
Usain Bolt. Do you think that maybe the greatest runner of all time?
Don't help him, Harris, for whatever
I'm just trying
reason.
to
Trying
he
to
wants
help
to
get him done
rant.
quicker.
Do
Yeah.
you think that Usain Bolt could somehow be the
It's in my
best?
nature.
Could have 20,000 gold medals if all of a sudden we had
20,000?
who's in the 100-meter running? Who's the fastest guy? Oh, that's Usain
Well,
Bolt. All right, let's make it 90 now. Oh, how about 50? How about 20? Go down the levels. And so you just so now that you go down to swimming, they have like who's the fastest swimmer for 50 meters? Oh, that's Michael Phelps. Let's make it 100. Let's make it 150. Let's make it. There's so many events that, of course, you're going to rack them up, and it's the same thing.
I'll be the Phil translator. I understand what you're saying.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I will say, when I look at greatest athlete ever, I look at who has clearly stuck out from the competition the most. And if you look at accolades, Michael Phelps has stuck out more from his competition than anyone else in any sport.
Katie Ledecky says, hold my hair bun, but okay.
Hey, 23 gold medals. Hold my hair bun.
There's
23 gold medals, 28 medals.
There's no way to quantify any of the stuff that you're saying right now. I mean, the greatest athlete of all time is, you could say you're the greatest basketball player. You could say you're the greatest football player. You could say you're the greatest swimmer. You could say you're the greatest whatever. So the argument that LeBron James is the greatest athlete of all time is irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
By the way,
talk to me about each individual sport, and I bet we've got a person. And the fact that we've got a person in each individual sport is by way of telling you, overall, LeBron James isn't the best athlete of all time, because I know him. He would try all of them, and he would do all of them if that were the case.
Fair enough. Well, last thing before I drop the mic here and I storm out.
Please don't drop the mic. It's very expensive.
I'm going to drop it. I'm going to toot on the mic. No, what?
Excuse me?
I just want to know.
Bodily fluids allowed.
Who is the greatest belly buttoner of all time? That is the real discussion that we have not yet had.
Shakira.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Shakira.
No, hers more, isn't it? Hips don't lie.
No. She does this like belly dance thing. My wife was telling me, I had no idea. And I'm like, what the hell is she doing? She's like, don't you know that's part of her thing? I'm like, I had no idea.
Oh, trust me, we are very well versed in what Shakira does not do, Jeffrey.
She's very, she's very
good at what she does and what she does.
Flexible.
Yeah. All right. Have a good show, boys.
Poutine Paul says, can anyone just show up at the station and get on the air? I don't understand why this Phil guy is arguing about. I don't. No, not everybody's supposed to, but I guess if you work there, you can. I think that's the rule. You have to work there.
I respect Phil for going back on and going for it. I do.
I keep thinking we killed this animal.
His argument is unfortunately inferior because his Katie Ledecky argument. Katie Ledecky has the second most medals for any swimmer ever, right? She has 14, doubled, divided by 2 what Michael Phelps has. That is sticking out from your competition right there. That is being in a complete tier of your own, which is something that LeBron James cannot say because Michael Jordan is right there with him in the greatest basketball player of all time conversation.
Moist One says, I'd love to touch Shakira's smelly button.
Excuse me?
We said belly button, Moist One. Belly button.
Moist One.
Anyway.
Gosh.
All right, well, back to the football part. So the 49ers, that would be interesting to see both Boses. We love it when brothers play together.
Right.
And we would have loved to have seen J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt. Never happened. But it's kind of a cool idea.
Peyton and Eli together. Line up like Eli at receiver. Potentially. No.
They're both absolute dorks outside of being a quarterback.
It would be funny.
They'd have to like back each other up and take turns. They would never work.
Fair. That's fair.
So the Bengals have granted Trey Hendrickson permission to go out and get himself a trade. That was some news that came out earlier today, and that dude's a beast. I'm surprised.
Can we get him on Arizona? I think he's had the most sacks these last 2 years of anyone in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 17 and a half sacks in the last each of the last 2 seasons. So
very good numbers.
They should be extending him, but they already franchise tagged T. Higgins. So they're like, if you want to trade, go get one. It's like, wow, disrespect.
Man.
Disrespect.
Interesting.
Tutu Atwell. He's all locked up with the Rams in a new 1-year deal. So, they got their Tutu, even though they got rid of their Cooper Cup right there, but
can't forget your Tutu.
Here's the thing. He doesn't. I don't feel like he was really much in the fantasy football, was he? Because
Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, in 2024 he had 562 receiving yards on 42 receptions. He played all 17 games. So let's see what they're paying him for all that. $10 million to stay with the Rams for a year. So 42 receptions and 562 yards is worth $10 million.
Well, apparently that's what the Rams paid him.
What is the deal here? Are they looking at him as potential?
Yeah, exactly right. They see him potential role. I mean, Tutu Atwell has always been like a really, you could get him deep or short, but they've always used him as more of a short ball guy.
He just needs more opportunities.
Yeah. I would say that. I mean, he's fast. That was
he's replacing Cooper Kupp basically.
Yeah, that was just kind of not. That was his thing at Louisville. Was he was a really quick guy. The thing about Tutu Atwell is that really skinny, you could say, possibly needs to put on weight. I think he's like $160, like $170. He's like my height, my weight, and near my height.
And as long as he's fast, he can jump. That's what matters.
Hey, that's football. Sometimes sometimes football is a complex game. Sometimes it's that simple. So maybe they have plans to use him that we don't even know about.
By the way, we told you yesterday Christian Kirk was getting released, but right before they released him, the Jaguars were able to trade Christian Kirk to the Texans for a 2026 7th-round pick that used to belong to the Rams. I am a little confused. They already knew he was being released. I think what it was, the Texans were like, we kind of like to have Christian Kirk, but we don't want to have to fight with other teams for him. So hey guy, whoa, we'll give you a pick. You give us Christian Kirk. And that's what they did. So now Christian Kirk is a Texan.
Christian Kirk got the better part of that deal.
I feel like he did
for
too.
sure.
Yeah.
I remember Jacksonville's record when Christian Kirk got hurt in like, I think it was 2023. And I don't have the exact numbers, but when Christian Kirk got hurt, Jacksonville struggled a lot. And so Houston getting him for a 7th. What?
Wow.
That's a good.
But Harris,
good
why
value.
do we care if Jacksonville struggles? Why do we care?
Because with
if
him,
the Texans struggle?
With him, they were. I should specify when Jacksonville had him in the lineup in 2023, they were very good. They were a very good team. Remember that team was like 7-3 at one point in 2023, and then Kirk gets hurt. Trevor Lawrence does deal with some injury things, but not having his go-to guy really hurt him. And so.
Good.
Yep.
I wish
Houston's
that
getting
death and
value.
destruction for every other team in the AFC South but the Colts. Amen.
Good luck with that.
That's why right
Because
there.
I think you're going to
Harris
get death and
should-
destruction with every team in the AFC South,
Harris should
including the Colts.
Death and destruction on every team but the Titans. That's
Right.
just that's what it's like to be a fan of football in the horrible AFC South.
Usually all 4 teams will give you death and destruction.
And then out of nowhere, suddenly I bet, watch this, all teams will be great. You know, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's either feast or famine with the AFC South.
It really is.
Been
really
feast
is. Yep. Yeah.
once,
Really is.
and then it's been famine the rest of the time.
Well, the Colts have had with Luck and Manning.
Well, we have a
they've had
Super Bowl
good
or
run.
two.
Yeah. Good
You have
run.
a
I mean,
Super-
with
you have a
Johnny,
Super Bowl?
you
Do have a
too.
Super Bowl? Do you have a Super Bowl?
No, we don't. I know.
I just like to hear you say it.
I know.
All right, we're going to take a break. We come back. We've got On This Date in Big George's sports history. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Oh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest Damage Protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
My name is Mary Grace. I lost my mom to Alzheimer's in 2017. 2 months after losing her, my dad was diagnosed. The earlier the diagnosis you have, the more time you have with your loved one. With my dad, now that I know what's coming, I'm able to create memories not only for him, but for myself. So when he can't remember, I'll remember for him.
For more information, contact us at alz.org or through the 24/7 helpline at 800-272-3900. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Looking to take your career to the next level?
Arizona's largest law enforcement agency is hiring detention officers right now. Play a critical role in protecting public safety with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and gain experience that could lead to careers in leadership or as a recruit training officer. Discover competitive compensation and unlimited potential at jobs.mcso.org. Honor the law, serve the people. Apply today by visiting jobs.mcso.org. Sponsored by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the 6-pack? Bingo.
That's what we thought.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Just Tip, I guess, is letting me know that he's also met Gene Michael the Stick, Clyde Frazier, Brad Park.
Wow.
Because he went to he met them as a kid when he went to some pre-games and events and stuff like that.
How fun is that? Wow, good for you. Just a tip.
Said Vita Blue in person was like a bolt of lightning, even in spring training.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He says, I can't under-evaluate what he did. He was stunning. Serious insight into what it takes to be a pro.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was a good dude.
Unlimited effort, unlimited fight, and a little skill. So 888-368-1580. Yeah, I mean, those are the things you remember in sports from when you were a kid. So I remember going to Hohokam Park and watching the Cubs play spring training and seeing Harry Carey with his big old mug of beer or his glass of beer singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. That, as a 12-year-old, really left the mark on me. What is your moment like that, Randy?
Wow, I don't know. I've had many wonderful sports moments. I don't know that one of them stands out than the other.
You know, when you're a kid, and it really sticks with you.
Well, see, when I was a kid, I didn't go to any sporting events. I went to one ASU football game. My dad didn't take me to any sporting events anywhere. He took me when I was a teenager out to see the race out at Phoenix at the time.
That stuck with you because you're a huge, NASCAR fan and race.
Yeah,
fan.
well, I mean, that was cool. I got to see Dale Earnhardt Sr. I got to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. racing on the same track. There were many big names that have gone on and retired now, but that's probably the biggest memory I have. I didn't go. My dad didn't take me very many places. So.
Well, how about you? Harris? Do you have anything that really stuck with you as a kid?
My favorite sports memory ever was actually kind of recent. So,
well, you're still a kid, so it counts.
Yeah. It's still, you could still count it. I was in college. 2022. I went to Tennessee and Alabama and Neyland Stadium. And I'm not sure if you guys remember that game. 52-49. Tennessee ended up winning. It's been 15 years at that time since we beaten Alabama. So Nick Saban has kicked our tails for years. And Ryan and I grew up going to Neyland Stadium and being a big Tennessee fan and was born and raised into the culture of SEC football.
Sure.
We're at the bottom pole forever, the bottom of the pole. And then all of a sudden, a lot of things go our way and we get that knuckleball into the field goal post. And I'm standing right at the wall of Neyland Stadium. I'm getting pushed off. And then it went in, and I got sort of pushed off. I jumped in. I had my cigar. I hugged my brother. It was a crazy dog pile. Some of the players on Tennessee, like Brew McCoy and some others, like ended up dapping him up. It was awesome, man. Me being a kid in college, enjoying that with my brother, all those years of getting our butts kicked by Alabama, having that go our way. It was probably the best sporting moment.
I didn't know you had a brother.
I do. I got a brother. Yeah.
I thought you were
Tennessee.
First we've heard of it. What's your brother's name?
His name's Wynn. Wynn. Yep. W-Y-N-N. He's goes to Tennessee. That's my guy.
Wynn. What's the origin of that? Is he named for somebody? That's a unique name. I've never met anybody named Wynn.
Yeah. It is a unique name. I think it's
He's like, I'm a winner.
Yeah, he is. I think it was named after some older
Winn Dixie
doctor. No, that's
some older doctor.
Fair guess, I guess. Some older doctor that did something really significant. I'd have to get that and get back to you.
Windex? I don't know. We can go all day with this, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential possibilities here. A lot of potential. You guys are really weighing them out, making me think.
We're detectives.
Really.
Right.
Oh yeah,
of the sort.
You're in it for the love of the game, not just the money.
Moist one says, I watched Brock Osweiler play high school basketball, and I knew he was going to be a great commentator.
Oh, really?
Who knew he was going to make all that money, though, right? Oh,
with the Texans, yeah.
Set
Again,
for life.
AFC South. That's a AFC South moment for sure, Jeffrey.
Yeah, and then it became the Broncos problem.
Yep, it did.
Booger Wolf says, do you guys remember having to go to the AM/PM to play Street Fighter on the arcade machine? I grew up on 16th Street in Thomas. The lines to play were insane.
Oh yeah.
I never lined up for an arcade game. I mean,
I didn't either. Yeah,
not a thing in my generation.
I go to an arcade, and if somebody else is playing, I'm like, I'll find something else to do.
When I was in high school, we went to this little. It was a sandwich shop around the corner from my high school. It was on 75th Avenue and Indian School there, and we would go in and play. There were pinball games and asteroids. And so you would put your quarter on the game in a line to see, where you stood. So yeah, that's we didn't stand there in a line though.
Yeah, I know, but how does anybody know whose quarter is which?
Well, I knew I was the third quarter up.
That's how fights would start, though.
Well,
there would be fights.
Wouldn't be very many.
You take a guy's quarter, or you try to cut on that quarter.
No, there wasn't. It was an honor code back then. You didn't do that.
Totally. I could.
Chosen One says, one of my best sports memories was years ago. I worked for Verizon, got to take a client to a Green Bay Packers game with field passes, and it was Brett Favre's first game back in Lambeau while playing with the Vikings.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I was about 15 yards away from him running on the field, and my Vikings won that game.
Wow. Good for you.
Let me say, the 2009 Vikings should have, you could say they should have made the Super Bowl that year.
Except for the Colts did.
I didn't say win. I said made. Because the Colts obviously lost to the Saints on that.
Shut your mouth. You shut your whorish mouth. You don't even mention that. It was just the fact that the Colts were in the Super Bowl. Your team hadn't even sniffed it. So shut up.
We went. That was the 59-0 year where we went 8-8. That was rough. Kerry Collins was our guy. We later found out he wasn't our guy.
Oh my God.
That was the year 59-0. That big old Blizzard game with the Patriots. Oh my gosh. That was the moment when my dad sold the season tickets. He's like, we're not going back. Because my dad used to be diehard, go to the Titans games all the time. And the moment that game happened, I saw a switch flip. I saw him go from hopeful to just utter emptiness. Yep. But anyway.
That's the AFC South for you.
Well put. 2009 Vikings should have won the Super Bowl, made the Super Bowl that year. Because if it weren't for Bountygate, Favre battling some concussions, man, that could have been a different story. Just saying.
Oh, well. Yeah. It's time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1923, the St. Louis Cardinals announced that players would wear numbers on their uniform sleeves, with the digits corresponding to their place in the batting order to help fans. The Redbirds strongly disapproved of the concept implemented by St. Louis manager Branch Rickey, who acted on the suggestion of a sports writer, Randy. Sports writer by the name of John Sheridan. Back to me.
No kidding. No kidding.
So the idea it was a bad one because you're going to change up your lineup. Now the guy's going to change his number. And this is before people were selling and like jerseys as souvenirs. And people are wearing somebody's jersey in the stands. They were like, what are you, an idiot? Yeah, you'd be wearing a suit and a tie. That was how it was in the 20s, right? You show up dressed up like, nice.
Right. Yeah.
You've seen the movies. Anyway, so then after a while, they're like, well, it's nice that we know who's who from the numbers on the program. It'd be nice if they had their numbers, but if you got to change up the batting order, that is really inconvenient. Then we got to change the programs. Then we got to restitch the jersey. We got to read it. So they decided it's like numbers good, batting order numbers not so good, and the rest is history.
Yep. Yeah, you're exactly right. Branch Rickey, he had a real impact on the game of baseball. I mean, it wasn't just bringing up the numbers, but I mean, just his impact on baseball alone was incredible. I mean, he was instrumental in breaking the league's color barrier by signing Jackie Robinson. That's why you probably know that, Branch Rickey. He was involved in that. He was a front office guy. He did a lot of stuff in baseball, Hall of Famer. And you have to imagine though, when you're an innovator, you come up with these ideas, you try them. It's kind of like Jeffrey when he came up, Harris, with this idea of like a disco ball shaped solar panel where it's 360 degrees and it would just always be getting sun. Doesn't matter where the sun is. It would just get the sunlight all over. And I
thought it was a great idea.
See, Jeffrey's an innovator. He's a visionary.
Right.
He comes up with these ideas like Phoenix Raceway, for example. They need to for fan excitement. They need to install a loop-to-loop out there and let the cars go through this loop-to-loop when they're racing. So I don't know what you feel about that, but
my best innovation came from what we're doing right now with the text line. Nobody else in sports talk radio was doing that. And when I realized that you could get texts actually on a computer where we could read them, that's when I was like, hey, text into the show, and just became a flow of consciousness. That's actually started in Palm Springs, and then we did it here. So,
well, there was that questionable one where you thought maybe an NFL game would be more fun with live bulls running around on the field while the game was going on.
I still think live animals involved in the the game would make it more interesting.
I understand,
guys. I didn't think we'd get a Branch Rickey reference, but man, this is the guy that I think he invented the helmet. I could be mistaken.
He had the batting helmet.
Yeah, the batting helmet. I think that was him.
Many innovations.
Farm system, maybe. I could be wrong, but I'm glad we got this. We're going to all facets here, folks.
Booger Wolf says, on this date in regular history, it's the birthday of that monkey responsible for AIDS. Oh, okay.
What? Thank you so much for the info. What would we do without him?
I was not aware of that. Thank you, Booger Wolf. All right, guys, that's it for us. We'll be back in your radios again tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, 3-point